Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. Good morning, Norman. Good to have you. Good to have you. People starting to come in over there. Oh Lord, Gallegos. I hope I said that right. I hope I didn't butcher these people's names this morning. So early in the morning, Captain Lynn, I hope I didn't butcher the name, but welcome. Good morning to you as well. Good morning to you. Good to have you. Good to have you. Captain Leonard, my name is Raheem, and I ain't important. I'm just a question asker. But this is my brother from another mother, but we have the same father. This is the one that's important. And everybody that's gonna come on this morning are the ones that's important. They're the one that talk to you and guide you and lead you and make sure that you're on the right path. But this is Captain Leonard. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem and the Morning Glow family.
Everything going good with you, man?
Yes, sir.
Man, they caught that correction officer that assisted that young man in escaping.
Yes, I did see that.
Yeah, they caught them, man. Caught them. I think they said in Colorado. I think it was. Um, Unfortunately, she didn't make it. She met her demise, and they saying it was a self-inflicted
Hmm.
gunshot gunshot wound to her. But it's kind of suspect how he got out of the car tomorrow. You need to check on her. She shot herself. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Man, what's your heart on that, man? That whole situation was just ugly from the start.
Well, I didn't really follow the story. I read it after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it was more so, how should I say? Hmm,
Uh-oh.
hmm. Did, didn't work out so well for them. How
Yeah,
about that?
yeah. It didn't work out. Yeah, definitely did not work out in the way that she or they thought it would.
Right.
Um, and see, my whole thing is, and I was following the story a little bit. They say that what happened was, she was supposed to be taking him to an appointment that he did not have. And so a lot of people really, I think a lot of people in that whole instance dropped the ball because, there's certain checks and balances you have to do before. I worked in the Department of Correction for 10 years, and I know there's a certain things that have to happen. You don't just go get somebody out their cell and say, I'm taking them to an appointment. You have to check it. Certain people have to check. You have to sign. Certain people have to sign off on it. There's a lot of steps that was missed in that. Now she was a supervisor. Said she was a supervisor. Put in her retirement a day or two before that. Put in
Hmm.
her retirement. Went got him. They went out. It was just ugly, man. It was just
I
ugly.
mean,
I'm trying to figure it out. Go ahead.
what is there to figure out? I
Mm-hmm.
don't understand.
Mm.
It didn't work out for him.
But what the thing that I'm saying I want to figure out is how this young lady, and you don't want to say threw her life away. You don't want to say that, but
It's over, right?
yeah, it's over. It's
Okay.
over, bro.
That's what
It's
she
over.
did.
Yeah, basically. And like I said again, I don't want to say it in that way. I certainly without a shadow of a doubt see your point. I definitely see your point. And I can't dispute it. I can't dispute it because
I mean, I'm not even sure why it was taking up
newsworthy.
so much that of the news.
Yeah, yeah.
I really
Because
don't.
hmm but
I mean, I wonder who had this bright idea. Here
mm,
you is already free,
mm-hmm.
but you go with the deal of the incarcerated person. You listen to what they have to say about your job, your whole life, this great plan that did not work. So, I'm not sure why it was that newsworthy, but nonetheless, it serves as an example to some who think that these types of ideas are okay. That's one of the things I was thinking about this morning when, you know, the issue with right and wrong and what you choose to do really sets up your life plans. So, hey, we see what happens. It don't always work out. But we'll just wait for Raheem to come back. I'm sure he's having those issues that he has um, with the system, but I'm sure he'll be right back shortly. Good morning, Badger.
She was in. Let me see. Leonard, you there? Leonard, you there? Leonard, you there?
Yeah.
Okay, good deal, good deal. Okay. Man, I'll watch that thing, and Leonard, you stop talking to me, man. Keep that thing going till I come back, brother. Don't don't. It's still broadcasting.
Uh,
Yeah, you're still there. So if it take me out, just keep talking. I'll be back. I'll be back in a second or two. But my thing is this right here. I don't understand how, and my whole I've seen it before, and that's why it's hard for me to say because I've seen it before. I've seen women come and work in the Department of Corrections. I've seen them coming in. I've seen them become victims of those guys. I've seen when I worked in a medium maximum institution, and we also had supervisor.
I don't even like the phrase you use.
What's that?
Became victim. No, she
Mm.
decided to do the wrong thing. Is what she did.
She did, she did. But my thing is, to come there with one intentions, and you get and truth of the matter, you got some women, and ladies, I'm not trying to downgrade you or talk bad about you, but I'm gonna tell the truth. You got some women that go in there looking for a man. They get the job at the Department of Correction looking for a man, and that's their intentions of going there, and that's what they want to do when they get there. They want to find themselves a man. I mean, and just like you have women on the outside, they become pen pals and stuff like that to incarcerated men. And before you know it, they're paying all the bills, sending the money, doing all kind of things, man, to somebody probably in a whole totally different state that they'll never see. But they got this little game thing going on, man. They got the game. You sit back and you watch them. They got a game thing going on, man, and they'll pass somebody around. Man, look here. She gonna send you this much. She gonna do this. She gonna do that. You got to give me blase of that, and then I'm gonna pass on to you, and you just keep the game going.
She's just, to me, she's just another corrupt law enforcement officer.
Yeah.
Period. I don't
Yeah.
care what she did or how she felt. If it makes, you make a difference that she was a woman or not. We're not even gonna act like that's some issue. They are equal and they need to be treated as such. She is a corrupt individual in law enforcement. That's what she is.
Wow. Everybody that talks about her, everybody that their family members and co-workers and stuff like that, she was just such a good upstanding student, officer. She would never do something like that. I never saw this coming. Well, a lot of times, Leonard, you don't see it coming.
I mean, why would you? Why would you see every issue that everybody has coming? Who sees that? Like you said before, who knows who really knows her and who she is? Those people have a perception of her. But to talk about what she never has done and she's already done it and she's dead for it, it's not a really intelligent conversation. Because she's dead.
Yeah, she's dead now, and
yes.
And like I said, whether it was self-inflicted or whether he did it, it all stemmed from a decision that she made. It all, and like I said, we could be. I mean, a lot of times I say no, this, but I can't really argue too much on what he's saying this morning. I can't.
Wasn't Bonnie just as guilty as Clyde?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, and normally, yeah, and anybody that knows the show, knowing that I like to play both sides, I like to deal with both sides of the coin. But I look at both sides of this coin, man, and both sides has a thing on there that says she made a decision. That's what it say. I flipped the coin over. It says she made a decision. I turn it over. It says she made a decision, and I'm like, wow.
I just got a pocket full of change.
Mm-hmm. I'm like,
If
wow.
you can think about what ignorant things somebody does every day, I can't even dedicate that much brain space to it.
Mm-hmm.
But a very simple fact is that people acted. So maybe someone can answer. Why does corruption and mean, evil things seem so shocking to some people?
Mm.
Was y'all raised in areas that like that,
I
where
would, man.
everything
Again,
was made, everything was just great?
I'm gonna tell you something. Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you straight up, man. I grew up in the hood, man, and I know,
Wasn't no crime where y'all was from?
man. Look,
Man, come on. These people are trying. They're trying to. You talking about they breaking in? They're trying to get into jail. Now you got a story. Somebody died trying to get somebody out.
mm-hmm.
So it's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And to believe that something else is going on, that it's just some great utopia going on,
Mm-hmm.
and y'all dreams have just been shattered.
Mm-hmm. To
God,
pieces.
I pray for y'all.
To pieces.
I really pray for y'all.
In the real world, Leonard, for listening to you, and in the real world, I believe you would say that this happened. This is not new.
No, it's just another episode. It's just another episode. You turn on and watch it on TV every day.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way people behave.
Just another chapter in the book.
Yes, and they're going to do what they feel is in their best interest, even if it's breaking out of jail. That person feels that's in their best interest.
Mm-hmm.
That's how people behave. They don't behave by some magical thing that you all be talking about sometimes. And I don't see how they could do this or how. I know exactly how they could do it. Maybe it's a gift. I mean, I don't struggle with other people's actions to believe what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
I watch and see what they do.
Leonard, do you trust people?
Yes, I trust them to be people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have no extraordinary trust for them like some of you may have.
Mm-hmm.
People are people.
Do you think as a whole, excuse me, percentage wise, do you think most people, again, percentage wise, want to do the right thing?
No, I don't think I don't think in the percentages either.
Mm-hmm.
I think people do what's in their best interest. If doing good is in their best interest, that's what they will do. If not, they will do something else.
So what I'm hearing you say is at any given moment, what we deem a good person could do something terrible if they feel it's doing to save their hide. And
yes.
you know what I mean when I say their hide.
Yes, it's called self-preservation. Unless they have some type of morals and values guiding their choices.
Okay, and that leads me to another question. Do you think most people have that?
No. I think they have them on a very simple level, maybe things that relate to murder, maybe, in some cases. I think there may be a little bit of when it comes to loving their children, but we see that's not true all the time. But I think those are kind of the two that stand out to me the most. Is the fact, those two things, but self-preservation is natural. And everybody don't choose to do the right thing. And it's not because they don't know what is right.
Do you think most people have that idea or mentality within themselves that if a situation were to come about, I'm going to kill you before you kill me?
Well, I mean, that's self-defense. If it's self-defense, it's still self-preservation. That's normal. That's normal to protect yourself or defend yourself against someone attacking you. That's absolutely normal. It's no huge leap to kill someone in that situation.
But my I think my question was a little bit different. We're gonna go to Badger in a second, but I think my question was a little bit different. If there's an argument situation, And do you think immediately in that organ, there has been no physical
Mhm.
episode yet, but immediately do you think a person, well, I'm gonna get you before you get me? Is that the mind? Is that the mindset of most people?
I wouldn't be able to say. It just depends on the argument or what have you. Most
Hmm.
people can have a decent conversation and disagree, and physical violence is not
No.
even a notion
Yeah. Yeah.
because they're not that type of person.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
But
That.
but but people who are those type of people will
Hmm.
behave that way,
And
and
they
it's
don't take that
because of
much.
evidence, and they have evidence that they will do
Hmm.
that,
Hmm.
and the
Hmm.
people around them know that they will do that.
Hmm.
If you were like, you got to imagine if one of my cousins did something, and they get the story, and they was always such a nice person. No, no, they weren't.
Hmm.
They weren't. No,
So, so you gonna be that kid, you gonna be that cat on the news? No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. I
no.
know.
I won't say nothing bad about him. God rest his soul.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's it. I wouldn't offer no comments because when there's nothing, like my mother used to say, if you don't have a lot good to say, don't say too much.
So basically, I'm being silly now for a second.
For real, man.
But my basically, you at the funeral, and they say, Leonard, I know you two were very close. Come up here and say a couple of kind words about this person. And you can't think of no kind words. What you gonna do? I pass.
Man, I mean, I don't, even if you
Y'all
did
going.
something crazy, I still love you.
Mm-hmm.
I say you can say those, but you don't have to say bad things all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to. You just you're like a preacher.
Mm-hmm.
You just going on to saving souls, trying to save souls. You don't
Mm-hmm.
you don't dwell on how good that person was if it wasn't no good to dwell on. Put it like that.
Well, I really want to. I search my heart
Mhm.
trying to find some good words to say about little Marvin here, but
At least tell the truth at a man's funeral. At least.
I couldn't think of none. Anybody can help me out a little bit because I can't think of nothing good that little Marvin here did. Uh, Badger, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Badger, this situation that happened with the police, with the correctional officer and the young man that she walked him out and they escaped. Um, went in the running. What do you think about that? She ended up dead. Um, is Leonard said that this is just another episode for another day. Um, what do you say about it?
You live in America, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
It's just another day.
Mm.
Um, that's the comment I put up earlier on Twitch. In today's society, this kind of stuff's normal.
Mm-hmm.
um,
So what does that say? What does that say about the our children and the generation that they're growing up in? Are we in trouble with them?
when, there's those of us that are working very hard to make sure they have morals and aren't judgmental and hateful to other people. And the rest of society is wrap. Uh, I think most of society is just fed up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's boiling down to politicians don't listen to us. Um, I mean, what's been put on social media probably happens once, twice a year. Matter of fact, shoot, it's probably happened once a year ever since um, women were able to work those kind of jobs in the male facilities.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always probably that one person that did it or did something like that that helped the convict escape or something of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, between watching probably movies, listening on to the kinds of music that's out there now. I mean, rap just doesn't sound like rap anymore. Country don't sound like country anymore. It just all I hear most of the time is sex, drugs, and alcohol or money. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just ew. I'm getting
Mm-hmm.
too old, and that stuff's just don't. Why? Why be so wrapped up in money and greed and doing things of that nature, and don't think there's some kind of consequence that comes at the end?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So as a whole, Leonard, as a whole, as a society of people, would you say that we're in trouble?
No, we're in no more trouble than we were 100 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
1,000 years ago.
Mm.
People are who they are. You have to remember, I don't. I'm not in this narrative that things were so great ever.
Mm-hmm.
You've
I see.
always been wicked.
Okay, but I think there's a different level of it. I think there at this point in time, I think there's different level. Yes, there always
I
has been
think the
things going
media
on.
makes the difference
Mm-hmm.
more so than anything
Mm-hmm.
because you get to see it on TV.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't sit around watching somebody break out of jail, watching that, just sitting staring in front of a freaking television.
So basically, you're saying that's what it is. That's the whole thing
It's
because the media,
TV.
society, and social media and stuff like that give you
Yes,
access to it.
that's that's the nature of media, and why media is such a big issue, and why it was such a big issue to be included in the Constitution of the United States as freedom of
Mm-hmm.
speech. That is a very big difference. It exposes the evil of the people. It exposes the lies that people tell.
Mm-hmm.
It provides an outlet for people who wish to conceal the truth to be exposed for the liars that they are. That's what the media does. That's what
Mm-hmm.
freedom of speech is really about. It's about exposing corruption. Not really out here talking about and shaking your tail all on and being obnoxious. Now, it's not about all that.
Mm-hmm.
Social media and freedom of speech is about being able to get the truth out when the government deems it's better to tell you a lie.
Mm-hmm.
That's what freedom of speech is about.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got
Okay.
to remember, you just can't go speaking about negatively about presidents and leaders in other places because they'll probably kill you,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody would think it's okay
They should have said that.
simply because you wrote a story that they disagreed with them.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, some people are dying because of that now in 2022
Mm.
because stories that they have that people don't want to make it to the media.
Well, see, Leonard, the thing about that is, and I want to hear Badger's take on this as well. They say, quote unquote, they say, whoever that they are,
Mm-hmm.
they say that this is the greatest country in the world. They say it's the greatest country in the world, and because of the fact it's the greatest country in the world, we got the best benefits, and we can go out there and talk about our government. We can say what we want to say, and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a good thing, or can that also be a double-edged sword?
I think the truth is always a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
The truth is always a good thing. You may not
Mm-hmm.
accept it, but
Mm-hmm.
it's better to know what the truth of the matter is than be satisfied with the lies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people get satisfied with lies till they don't even care what's right or wrong no more.
Wow.
They just lump it all in a pile and say everybody else is wrong or right. Everybody else, or they start labeling it in society or community. What about you?
Mm-hmm.
What about you? That's the question you ought to ask. So what about you? It's not.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even start talking about other folks first.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm not going to come after you for doing a great thing or just to be messy or what have you, because I will support anybody doing the righteous thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would support anybody doing that because I'm just that much trying to be on that side of the fence.
Now, who determines what the righteous thing is and what the
I
the
do.
righteous thing is not?
I do.
Okay, so it's your choice of what
For
side
me, yes, I
yeah.
do. For me,
Okay,
yes.
okay. Because that could be
I know.
a trick. Yeah,
I
exactly.
know. Because
Exactly.
you know, it's
Yeah.
anybody can bring anybody can bring their couple of dollars to the dice game. It don't matter to
Mm-hmm.
me.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna win them. You're gonna want to win it all anyway.
Man, it don't matter to me. Bring them hot $2 to the dice
Mm-hmm.
game. Let's see what happens to it. Because it
$2.
just doesn't make sense. You know, anybody, well soon as somebody want to do some foolishness, you know what they do?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Well, who's to say what's right? Then don't even worry about it. Wipe the dust off your feet and keep moving.
Yeah, and see, and that's what, to me, that's what the whole trouble lies, because who's to determine you're right to be totally wrong for somebody else, and so they can fight the argument and make their speech, if you will, about what is right or what is wrong. And no, and neither one of them could be dealing with facts. Neither one of them could be dealing with facts.
I'm just so committed, recommitted now. I'm not fooling with Negroes that don't know right from wrong. I just cannot do it.
Yeah.
Them lies y'all be telling yourselves to get through, and I can't do it, man. It is what it is.
Exactly.
If you don't believe it's right, don't worry about it. I ain't got to worry about it. Like my mother used to tell young women who had the necessity to lie about their sexual activities. 9 months to tell it all.
Yeah. The story can come out. The truth.
9 months to tell it all, bro.
Captain, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Brothers, God morning to all you brothers. I'm doing great. I'm doing black-tastic, my dear brothers. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good, doing good. We talking about that young lady that assisted the inmate in escaping, and unfortunately, she met her demise. They say self-inflicted gunshot wound, but that's to be determined later on whether it was self-inflicted or not. But we're talking about the decision and the choices that was made in that, and how, like I said, I worked in the Department of Correction for 10 years. I know there's a lot of steps that was not taking, because you don't just take somebody out because you want to take them out and say I'm gonna take them to an appointment and they open the door and let them go. It's a lot tied up into that, and I'm sure they're gonna get to hopefully they'll get to the bottom of that. But what do you think about her decision making to do something like that, or lack of decision making?
Well, man, I haven't heard of that one, man. There's so many that's that's in the pipe. I mean, the videos that we're looking at is some unbelievable stuff, or the stories we hear. I didn't know nothing about that. And was this a black female correction officer? Was she a police or correction officer?
She was our Caucasian sister, man. She was a correction officer.
Oh, she was a correction.
Yeah, she was actually not a correction officer. She was like an administrator or something like that in the prison system. She had a position. She wasn't an officer, but she had a position there inside the prison, inside the institution.
Well, they did a movie on a female correction officer who participated in the release of 2 inmates that became national attention. She was married, and she had got sexually involved with 2 inmates, and she participated in their escape, and both was killed. I don't think she was killed. But in this case that you're talking about, I mean, there's no question. That was a very bad decision. For whatever her motive was, it definitely could have been she was attracted. It could have been I don't know. But it was definitely a bad decision. And did she take the person with her, or did she wind up killing herself? Did the guy come back, double back? What's the end of that story?
Well, they were on the run, and they captured, I think, in Colorado, in some part of, I could be mistaken in the state, but they caught them. There was a pursuit, and the vehicle that they was driving actually ended up, they did some kind of pit maneuver or something on it, and it ended up in a ditch. And when they went to apprehend him out of the car, he got out with his hands up, saying that she's in the car, and she's dead with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. I didn't do it is what he said. I didn't do it. But this is a guy that I'm supposed to be in prison, I think, for 70 years. And so he really, at that point in time, he had nothing to lose. And now he's actually set to go trial for another murder that they say he did commit. And so it's a lot.
I would say this. It's not impossible that she realized that she cannot accept the consequences of her action, and she couldn't handle the fact that she was going to go to prison, and so she could have blew her brains out. I'm not sorry to say it like that. She could have killed herself. That was me. And I'm looking at, oh man, maybe I would have did the same. However, there's no question. I heard Brother Leonard earlier today that, yes, I mean, she made bad choices, but shoot, brother, we got young people that make these kind of bad choices every day. And
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, she did. There was one video that the brother played, and I want to share that, was where this brother was at this convenience store. Maybe you've seen that video. He was at a convenience store with his girlfriend, and there was two sheriffs. The sheriff of another county had his wife, who was a deputy, was transporting an inmate from one county to another. And the lady who was deputy sheriff said that this brother inside the convenience store groped her. And so her husband, being a sheriff, went to arrest him. He like, who are you, man? What you groped her? And then the female cop, who was the deputy, she's trying to help him, but the man's girlfriend, like, whoa. She struggling with it. She take the phone, throw it. Well, anyway, the moral of the story, they looked at the videotape on the camera, and the videotape showed the brother was looking down. She backed up into him. She bumped into him. He said, excuse me. So there wasn't no groping. So
Mm-hmm.
when they went to talk about you don't have the power to arrest, he's a sheriff in another county, so he's out of his jurisdiction. So the local police comes, they look at the videotape, they say, well, I don't see no groping here. You know, we looking at it, and you don't have no jurisdiction. So the deputy sheriff, she start crying. And when she started crying, the local police went on to arrest the brother, got him for sexual assault. He has a special clearance to work in Washington, D.C., have a special security clearance because he's a contractor for the government. Now,
Mm-hmm.
this brother is going to lose his clearance. He's got a record, and he got to fight this in court in order to clear his innocence. But the videotape is so obvious. This is in
Mm-hmm.
Georgia, in your
Wow.
state, where you at.
Mhm.
This is
Yeah.
Georgia.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
so it's not unkind. So I'm saying all of these, as with Leonard talking about, I heard him say you don't want to be around people who is just ignorant and don't make choices and understand this liars. He used the word liars, which really is a liar is one who don't want to accept the consequences of the truth. If you don't want to accept the consequences of the truth, then you should never open up your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And so these are the kind of things that happen. Bad choices. Bad choice. I think that's what you're saying. She made a bad decision,
Yeah.
and it really became her demise.
Exactly. And that's what it is, man. We got to be real mindful of our decision and our decision making, because it can come back. It has a tendency to circle back around, and it can really hurt us if we make a bad decision. Charles, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning? Charles, you there? Look like you're frozen, brother. Charles, you there? I think Charles is frozen. We'll get back to him in just a second or two. Yeah, he locked out. But Badger, talk to me, man. Decision makings. She made a bad decision. She made it was it was absolutely a bad choice that she made, and it's as it came back around, it actually cost her life. Whether she did it or he did it or she's still dead, based on the decision that she made to do the things that she did. What do you say to that, Badger?
It, mm,
Come
I
on, Badger.
just don't understand why someone would want to do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like the person was literally in jail for attempted murder and
Mm-hmm.
stabbing and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And for one, how was it self-inflicted is my curiosity, just because I'm curious about things like that. And I mean, the distance that they drove, they ended up finding them in what, Houston
I think it
or
was. I
something
think it
like
was.
that?
I think it was Colorado.
Or Colorado?
I think I'm not 100% now. Don't quote me on that. I think it was.
So it's God, man. I just don't. If the person knew anything about the individual, it, you're helping somebody that's in there for stabbing a woman to escape, and no other correctional officer, no other human being thought this was weird for someone that's supposed to be serving for 75 years to be. The whole situation is just fishy to me. None of it makes sense. The decisions don't make sense.
He said fishy. Yeah, it's very fishy. You're right about that.
I'm trying to be I'm trying not to say certain words. I'm just to be 100% honest. It's stupid. However, what Leonard was hitting on earlier, media. The more media has grown in social, the news and everything else, I mean, most people have this mentality that if they say anything against the government, or if they say or try to do anything against the powers that be, they're going to get taken out. So most of America lives in fear. You've got all kinds of situations where people were killing somebody else, either it be due to race or them just being absolutely stupid, and like in this situation. I just don't understand how or why this was even allowed to happen.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Yeah, and it shouldn't have, because, like I said, there's certain steps that have to happen before you can remove anybody from that institution. There's certain steps that have to happen. Certain signatures got to be on that paper. All these different things, and that was not done. That certainly was not done. Charles, what do you say to this, brother?
Yeah, certainly things weren't done. It was called an escape.
Yeah.
Come on. Her plan was better than their plan. That's what the escape was about. That's what it's about. Anytime you can get a car and put all the alarms you want on it, that's just to deter things. It's not to stop them. And those things that you're speaking about in the prison system are planned to deter things from happening. But when you got the person inside, they know how to plan this and make it happen. Just like banks that get hit with inside jobs. Those things don't supposed to happen, but it does, because you have a crooked person that knows how to manipulate the system, and she was manipulated by him. She ain't no victim, though, because she got what she wanted. She wanted what she got. She had time to pull out money from her accounts and stuff to do this escape, to get all this cash. So she knew what she was doing, and her ends justify her means.
Basically, you're saying it was calculated.
Say that again?
Basically, you're saying it was calculated.
Oh, definitely. I mean, wasn't it? It was calculated to the fullest. I mean, they got out. Her plan worked to the point of getting out. Now, I don't know if they had an end game plan. Well, at the end, we gonna kill ourselves. But she might have said, okay. And then he might have said, oh, okay.
You go first.
Yeah, right. Her body, her choice. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I have no remorse for people like that, man. They put themselves in there. You got one of my coworkers, man, long years ago. His brother was a New York detective, and he got shot. His brother and the partner got shot in the head by, the assailant, and the assailant got locked up. The assailant ended up getting 2 women or somebody pregnant in prison, in jail, up in New York, in prison. This happens all the time because of these poor decisions that these women are making. And I know you're not allowed to say women make poor choices. You're not allowed to say that these days. All of them. No, they make, because this happens a lot. They're not escaping, but they do it's a lot of prison pregnancies, man. It's a lot of them. You work the system and you worked in them, man. I'm telling you, these dudes, they get in these women ear because these women want that type of dude. You understand? First of all, you're looking for that type of dude. If you weren't looking for that type of dude, nothing he could say to you could make him attractive to you. You understand? A dude behind jails that can't give you nothing. when there's plenty of dudes out there that'll probably do more things for you, for these women, but they want to be with that dude, so they get what they got, and they can't get mad.
But my thing is this right here, and I understand what you're saying, Charles, and I certainly I can't say that you're wrong, and the reason why I can't say because I worked in a prison for 10 years, and I saw ladies that fell victim. I saw it, man. You know,
they ain't falling victim. Stop saying they ain't not victims.
My verbiage, my choice, brother. How you say?
That was a good one. That was a good one. My verbiage, my choice.
Exactly.
I'm gonna use that one.
You're gonna steal it. Give me the credit for it.
I ain't giving you nothing.
But my thing is right here. I've seen these ladies, man, actually fall victim, but at the same time, we can't just point the finger at the ladies. We had to investigate men that work in women institutions. And I mean, it's the same animal, man.
It's not the same though.
Why isn't it the same?
All right, you telling me
she's incarcerated and he made a decision to be with her.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's the same. That's the same, definitely. Yeah. That's the same. That's the same. But when you're looking at dudes, man, it's not like when you're looking at it like this, and dudes in these systems, and that happens, like you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Which one you think happened the most?
I can't put a number on it.
I said what's your opinion?
Well, it's hard to say when you say the most, and I got to go to some more people though, Charles.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that because you have more male institutions than you have female, so it's really unfair. It's an unfair balance, you know, because now you're dealing with percentage and stuff like that. So that's really hard to say.
Right.
Let me go to Cassandra. Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
What do you say about this young lady? Was it a bad choice on her part that she did? Was she caught up? Was she in love? What do you think it was, Cassandra? I know,
well,
bro.
I'm sure she probably thought she was in love, and got caught up in, you know, we can, you know, you can judge it, you know, the way you want, but she was probably bamboozled. You know, in the beginning, he probably knew what he intended, you know, to.
So
I can see that he obviously froze again. But you know, I think which most people have an issue with, like me and Charles share the same opinion. I could care less. I don't have no hard feelings or heart feelings for that matter. You
Yeah.
know, for the situation. One was already locked up, which was justice. Now you have another aiding and abetting.
Aiding, that's what I was looking for. Aiding and abetting.
It doesn't matter to
Because
me.
it had to be a plan.
Exactly. And that's what, you know, when we getting so used to call victims of what? Your own choices, maybe.
That's
your own
it.
choices, maybe.
Your own choices.
But this notion to try to move
Everything's
towards to give
everybody's
us
a
some
victim.
credit and to use words like lady and all. No, she was a law enforcement officer. She took an oath.
Right. And did somebody get killed when he escaped?
She did. In
No,
the end,
I know she got
I'm not
killed
sure
at the
about
end,
any other death.
but during the escape,
No.
nobody got hurt, right?
nobody
I'm
else
not sure.
got hurt.
Okay.
And also,
Well,
it speaks
into
to one of the. Think about it. Here's a place that's supposed to be meant for incarceration, but you can just walk out the door with somebody.
Well,
You can. The plan is though, you can with a plan.
Yeah.
You can with the plan, because you got to think about it. If you're in there and you know the systems of how the doors are locked, what time people do this, what time people do that, everything everybody does, you can make a plan to escape everybody out there.
Right.
well, the interesting part is they shared the same last name, and he had a 75-year prison sentence, and then he was awaiting trial for stabbing a 58-year-old woman during a burglary, where he could face the death penalty.
Right. So, and they knew all this. So it wasn't like really.
Okay.
Oh, you're back, brother?
Yeah, we're back. I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for keeping it going like that, man. Y'all had your own little thing going on. I was like, man, look at it. I might not even come back in there. Let them go ahead on and handle that. But Cassandra, what were you saying? You said that she was probably in love, Cassandra?
I'm not saying that it was love. I'm saying in her mind it was love,
Mm-hmm.
and and unfortunately, when women are they feel desperate or they feel needy, they want to be loved, or they're not getting the the attention that they think they need from a guy or from a man. Period. They can do some crazy stuff, and she made a decision that ended up tragically for her, unfortunately. But I believe she thought she was in love, because she was in the system, so she knows how this stuff works. I believe she really thought she was in love with this guy.
Wow. Tucson, what do you hear? And good morning, Tucson. How you doing this morning? Tucson, you there?
Yeah.
One of them.
You got an echo.
I got an echo. It'll go away. Let me tweak some things over here and turn your volume down a little bit. That might help it too. But what do you hear in this situation? Tucson, was she in love, man? She just made a bad decision. What happened, man? Because it caused whatever she was in.
She talked about really, because I don't watch the news. That's the last thing I'm gonna do.
No.
So I don't even know what I hear what y'all saying. I see it happen, but I don't know what y'all talking about.
Okay. Let me keep it going. I'll tell you. But Curtis, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Okay, well there it is.
Okay, hold on one second, Tucson. Don't go nowhere. Curtis.
Yeah, what up, man? What's going on?
What do you see in this whole situation, man? What really happened, man? What do you think caused her to do the things that she did?
I mean, it ain't rocket science, eh? They had a relationship going on, man. I don't know what kind of relationship they had going on, but there was a relationship. That's what it is. I mean, it happens all the time, man. We had in Baltimore.
Hey, Curtis, talking to your phone, brother. Talk directly into your phone for me.
I'm actually talking to my car speaker. About 3 years ago here in Baltimore, man, we had like 2 female guards get pregnant by the same dude. They was running drugs for the dude, all cut, man. It happens, man, I mean, those guys got 24 hours to sit back and contemplate how we gonna get to you. Yeah, that happens. Just because he a criminal, that don't mean that he can't love either. He might have been in love too. I mean, who knows what that was, but it was definitely a relationship. I can tell you that.
Okay. That's good. Rico, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Man, I can complain, man. Welcome to a new day, everybody.
Hey, welcome to you as well, brother. Talk to me about what you see in this whole situation, Rico. What do you see, man? What happened in this? How was the ball dropped?
Well, what happened is what happened. I mean, it's pretty obvious. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like a lot of different details you can go into besides the fact that she had access. For some reason, she had so much access and authority that somebody gave her the benefit of the doubt. And once again, that she didn't have to play by the rules. And she knew, look, I don't have to play by the rules everybody else by. I can get you out easy. Like Charles said, they made a plan. She knew the plan would work because they trust me. I got authority, I got access, and don't nobody double check behind me. Even the people that saw me take him out of here and thought that looked mighty suspicious. Oh, well, you know what? That's Vicky. She's okay. She's going to get a look. I think it happened on a Sunday or Saturday. Oh, how could that place even be open that she said she was taking them to get a mental evaluation? Yeah. Maybe it was open. But the whole procedure did not go with the rules. But that's the country we live in. Some people don't play by the rules. So are we surprised? Are we just making a conversation about something, that's sort of just a repeat of what happens when, certain people have authority, how they could get away with things, bend rules, or they make rules to justify what they did so they could get away with it. I've seen a worse situation in Brunswick. where people abuse authority and talk to the murderers. Let them know how the investigation was going and everything. But we just talk about it, you know what I'm saying, when it's old, because I think this is like 5 days old. So, I mean, you know, the speculation, I mean, it's a lot of speculation that could go down behind it. Was she in love? Well, obviously. Not only was she in love, but she might have been doing this for some type of white supremacist group, because he was one of them people, too. So, I mean, it's a lot to speculate. Only thing you could do is just wait and see what the rest of the details are. But one thing is for sure, she did it. They trusted her. She took advantage of the benefit of the doubt that they gave her. And now she did. And she risked it all. She made up her mind a long time ago she was going to sell her property for a little bit of nothing. And it was all or nothing. And she was going to do what she needed to do to get this man out of prison. She was going to risk her life, knowing the consequences. Those are the facts. And now she out of here.
Wow. And Badger just put up that she was an assistant director of the corrections of Lauderdale County.
She had big authority.
Yeah.
Had big authority. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but see, Alabama is like that. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't just Alabama. Some people might just say, well, this, you know, look at that. Well, look at Brunswick, Georgia. If you get a chance, you know, I know people like to look up stuff. I share stuff all the time. Look up Brookside, Alabama. And see how the feds just came in and tore that whole police department up and what they were doing and what they still doing, how the chief just got arrested for posing and pretending to be a police officer in another city, still feeling entitled and privileged.
Wow.
That's what happens sometimes when you get authority. And it happens a lot more with certain people that get authority that don't look like us. But it's been going on since the beginning of the Constitution.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Charles, what's on your heart, brother?
Man, piggybacking off what Rico's saying, man, if you look at DeKalb County, in county, man, you see corruption of the police, you know, and they look like us. So sometimes, you know, it ain't a race thing, it's just bad people, you know, and she was just a bad person that you know, just like Cassandra was saying, I believe she was in love. She was as they say, smitten, but she was looking for love. And who sang that song, Looking for Love? Well, you can sing this for me, Raheem. I don't even know why I allowed you to sing. No, don't sing.
Now you're gonna allow me to sing. Let me read this joke. You're gonna allow me to sing. Ain't that some mess? You're gonna allow me to sing.
Without ragging on you. Sugar Bell.
Badger, what's on your heart?
She was looking for love in all the wrong places, man. For real.
Absolutely. She really was. Badger?
Well, I mean, he's a person in power. No wonder nobody really questioned her. You know, and according to everything that's being found, they are not related, and apparently there was some kind of romance going on. She was like 56, he was like 38, so I guess she was a cougar. It sounds, you know, this person is in there for murder. You know that he was a murderer for hire. So practically someone that worked for people to go take out other people. And you're going to use your, and by the way, she sold her house. She sold her house, was retiring that day. So this was her last day at work and everything else. Why I know love can make you do some stupid things, but or the thought of having love can make you do stupid things. Because if two people really loved each other, they wouldn't have done something that stupid.
Wow.
Because one would want to protect the other. He should have known. I mean, the things that she would have been charged with once they got caught. They got caught in Indiana, by the way.
Okay.
They were at a car wash and got caught on camera. Which is the link I sent you. I posted. And it's I just don't understand the level of stupidity.
Mm-hmm.
And why they thought that we live in an age where there's just about a camera on every street corner. So they're going to get caught no matter what country they go to.
Mm-hmm.
And the other part that messes with me the most about all of this is when you look at other cases that were, in my opinion, specifically hate crimes, or what happened on January 6th and all that other stuff. Yep, that's going to stir up Charles. Anyway, if we have all these cameras and we were able to find these people that fast, why ain't we finding all the other people that has done all these crimes?
Mm-hmm.
And that's my issue. So they went out of their way to go hunt down these two white folks because she helped this murderer get out. Yet these other people that are murdering and everything else that they've had on camera and they know who they are, they can't find them and they've still been missing for 5 years. So are they dead or are they just ignoring evidence?
Heck of a question. Heck of a question. Captain, what's on your heart?
Well, it's very interesting because we moved to how did she became influenced, as Sister Cassandra said, by love. Now, every one of you guys on this line, you some handsome fellas, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you can't tell me that how many times you think I went up to the airline counter and seen the airline stewardess behind the counter, and I put that Billy D. Williams smile on her to get upgraded to first class. You know how many times I did that?
Mm-hmm.
Just a smile, just a woman. We all have used our charm to get what we want, and and you can't ignore the pimp. What do you think the pimp do? You're talking about a man on the inside who's using his influence on a female who's vulnerable, who may be vulnerable for every reason of her past or whatever. And he used that to his advantage. Men do that. That ain't nothing uncommon. Whether you do it in the correctional facility or whether you see all of our girls out there with these old dudes who's got them out there selling their bodies. They use the same influence. They take advantage of the vulnerable. So she may not be a victim, but we can say she damn sure was vulnerable. And if we say that, then we don't even know. I didn't know nothing about the guy's past. But shoot, I don't think she was under no threat that if you didn't do this, I got your kids' house, I'm gonna kill your mama. I didn't watch too many movies how that goes. But the bottom line is, we call it the power of persuasion.
Yes.
And men got it and women got it. It goes both ways. So, I'm looking at you, man, we all did it. I'm telling you. If God gave you the gift of a beautiful smile, or you nice looking, you trying to get ahead of the line, you trying to get upgraded or whatever, you trying to look at how many hotels, Brother Leonard, you went to, and the girls at the counter, and you want to get upgraded to a suite, or you want to get a single bed with no smoking, and you want it on this particular floor. Man, you ain't talking to her crazy. Putting that daggone Leonard Charmer. How you doing? So, you look good. I like your nails. No, I like your nails now. Well, wait, what you want there? I mean, I'm just trying to get on that floor, man, with that. You so silly. Okay, wait, let me look.
What a swimming pool at?
you so silly. Okay, I'm gonna do this because you lucky today. Oh, I really appreciate that. And that's how it goes. Man, 70 years, he sees somebody that was vulnerable, and he put the pimp game on her.
Yeah.
Point and said. I'm sorry, fellas. That's how I feel about it.
I plead the fifth dimension.
The fifth dimension. Cassandra, what's on your heart? Talk to me.
You know, he's right. That you can use whatever gift of charm you have to get people to do things that are wrong, or that are not ethical. Period. So yeah, it happens. I think I've told this story on here. I used to be married to a con man. I didn't know he was a con man, but for years I mean, a real con man. I'm talking go in a bank, know how to spot the right woman to go to, the right teller to go to, and walk out with the $50,000, $100,000 check cash that was on a fake account.
Good
and
Lord.
He had that kind of he had that kind of suave about him that he could do that. He was great looking. He had a deep voice, and he was sharp as all get out. And I didn't know that that's who I was married to, but that's who he was. And I did not find out for years after we were married. Not DEA, a whole bunch of police was at my house came to my house one night. I wasn't there. Let me try to tell us really quickly. And I felt to go to the store right before I guess they got there. It was like, go to the store. I was like, I don't need anything. Go to the store. Went to the store. When I came back, all of these people were sitting in my yard. GBI. The
Wow.
All these people in my yard, man. It was crazy.
He knew something. He knew something, Cassandra.
They did what they did really quickly. They did what they did. They came, they said, hey, we just hear about your husband. Where is he? Blah, blah, blah. I told him he was out of town. So when they left, I called him. He asked me to go and check in the garage and up the ceiling thing in the garage. And he said, there's a bag up there, pull it down. And so see if it's still there. Well, when I saw that it was there, I pulled it down and looked in it. He had 5 different IDs from 5 different states. And that's when he had to finally tell me what he was doing all those years, where most of his money came from, even though he had a business. So, things happen. You can be bamboozled, and, suave goes a long way. Swagger goes a long way.
Wow. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We'd love to have your input on this conversation. And Kia, yeah, he said the 5th dimension. Ain't that something? That joker said the 5th dimension. Anyway, phone lines are open. Give us a call. We'd love to have your input. Monique, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing just fine.
Monique, what's on your heart about what we're talking about? What was wrong with it from a lady's standpoint, from a lady's perspective? What was wrong with her? What happened?
I was kind of reading up on her. She was 56, no children. To me, it just looked like, it was a little low self-esteem, lonely. And, hear this 35, 36-year-old, saying, whatever he could say, because I'm pretty sure they were having conversations. And he probably had to find where her weak spots were. So I just think that she was easy, to be, manipulated. Lonely lady, and could have had some, could have been depressed, suffering with depression, So
girl, you still got it. Girl, you still got it.
But at the end of the day, she was in a position, of authority, and she knows the, the consequences, of fraternizing, with the inmate.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
So, that's, an unfortunate situation. But, yeah.
That's what it is. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Man, it just goes to show you how fragile the human mind can be.
Mm-hmm.
We can be in a position of all type of authority, show that we are more than qualified and meet the requirements. But at the same time, when we get in that position of power, when we see something we want to make happen, we make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
When we see something that we want and we can make that come to fruition, well, let me see if I can make this happen. I got a little power. And so, you know, I'm just making people mad. But don't y'all go rejoice when I die. She was a leftover woman.
Mm.
And she knew she was leftover, so she had to resort to a pen pal on death row, a convict. And the thing is, you know, listen to what Captain said, and also what Cassandra said. I love she said that word, a real con artist.
Mm-hmm.
And man, we see them every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every day. We see them in churches. We see them in schools. We see them on police departments. We see them as district attorneys, hedge fund managers, all over the world. Doctors, angels of death, nurses that kill people just because they got the urge. And for some sick reason, they get mentally unstable. And they don't get me wrong, they check all the boxes as being qualified for this ethical position.
Mm-hmm.
But the human side of them says, you know what? I just can't shake this feeling to want to kill people. So I think what I'm gonna go around every now and then, I'm gonna hit these people IVs with a little concoction and watch the family go through what they go through, because I got some type of mental instability going on, some sick fetish that nobody knows about. And I'm fooling everybody. They don't even have a clue. They don't know what I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same mindset of a child molester, a serial child molester, a serial killer. Ted Bundy, oh, he was the best. That judge said, man, you would have made a heck of an attorney. You would have made a heck of an attorney. What's wrong? What happened? Ted Bundy was a monster. But he fooled so many people. And then he broke out on his own. Somehow he was able to convince people that, you know, he was different than who he really was. So that's the world we live in. You have to live with discernment. Yeah, it doesn't mean that you always have to have eyes in the back of your head or your head on a swivel. But you can't get caught up into yourself to the point where you leave yourself vulnerable and gullible, knowing that these people exist.
Mm-hmm.
Because first impressions now last years.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. There's a lot going on. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
I'm just listening. Because you know I am not on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not. This appeal for this issue to me is just a little bit out of hand. Like I said, why it makes for great TV, I guess. But I don't care nothing about that woman or that man. I really don't. I don't care why she did it or not. She took an oath. He's a corrupt law enforcement official. He's a criminal convicted. I mean, it's a Hallmark movie almost, ain't
it? So they deserved each other. That's what you're saying.
Pretty much. Pretty much. I mean, people have made millions of dollars in motion pictures telling the same story. But we have to be very careful. Because one, I like the middle, because I don't like to fall solely on one side or the other when it comes to certain things. Did we just build a case for women not being to be looked at second again? I just listen to y'all do it.
Okay, I'm trying to understand how does
why
that
should we allow them to be officers of the law if they have these types of behaviors and these inabilities and all this vulnerability and everything like that? Puts us at risk, doesn't it?
It no more than to do when a man working a woman's
exactly. So let's stop. So let's stop
difference.
Appealing to her feminism, her feminine characteristics so much.
So you think that we'll
call her what she is, a corrupt law enforcement individual.
Okay. So basically, what I'm hearing you say is you think that we're demeaning her by saying or using her title of being a female. You think
I don't know if you're trying to demean her or not. I don't think you're trying to demean her at all. I think you're applying bias to the situation.
Okay.
Because to me, it doesn't matter what color, what sex she was, or whatever. She was a law enforcement person aiding and abetting a convicted criminal to escape.
And then I don't think nobody was giving her a pass. Now you sound like we was giving her a pass. Ain't nobody giving her no pass. Now maybe I missed something, but I'm not giving her no pass.
No,
and I don't think nobody on here from what I heard is giving her a pass. I do think that we're intelligent enough to try. Now, I mean, we can't get into the mind, the purpose, and the intent. But this ain't new. It definitely ain't new. I mean, this is something, man, we wasting our time talking about a corrupt cop and the corrupt criminal.
Exactly.
And that's it. I think we could have been using this time to talk about a lot of more issues that's prevalent that we facing right now. For real, for real. But I mean, this is my man's show. I'm not going to try to hijack it, but you know, if you ask me my opinion, I give it. But I think we waste a whole lot of time talking about something that's irrelevant. You know, it's a cut and dry case. I'm not gonna, you know, he's not gonna make me cry, but at the same time, it does bring out a point about the vulnerability of women. It does bring that out, but we can't castrate all women because they're in corrections. Hell, we talking about police, but hell, what about the nurses? What about the female doctors? You know, yeah, I go to the dentist and sister, she may be on my team. I'm gonna give her that. I wanted to give me the Billy D. Williams smile, hoping to me she give me a break on this damn bill. So what we gonna say? What we gonna say? They are women. They are women, and a woman is a woman, man. And we as men, we ain't really did what we should do to our women. Matter of fact, our women are suffering so bad, the lack of us being men, that they accepting these kind of dudes, man. They bending down to these kind of dudes because they can't even find a man in the street that can honor and respect them because we're cheating so bad on women, and then some of them are getting abused by us. So there's a whole lot to this story. That other words, I used to hear Obama say, all bad situations can become a teaching moment. So to me, I got to turn this into a teaching moment.
Yeah.
Because when we walk away from here, what I'm going to learn from this? Two people that was in crime got what they need. I didn't learn nothing from it. But what I did learn from this conversation is that all of us know that women also have the power of persuasion. If we didn't have women that have power of persuasion, there wouldn't be no prostitutes. There wouldn't be no strip clubs. So they got the power of persuasion to make you walk up there at that pole and just make it rain. So they got the power of persuasion. We got the power of persuasion. We have the power of authority as men to get women or children to do what we want, and vice versa. So it's human nature. It's very human. But anybody, this is my spiel, I'm gonna be through. But anybody that takes advantage of the vulnerability of a child, the vulnerability of a woman, or woman takes vulnerability of an old guy, whatever, that's criminal to me. That's very criminal to me. And we all know vulnerable people. But to take advantage, Sister Cassandra tell me this man was a daggone con artist to the 5th degree. I mean, he had to be good at it because he pulled the wool over my sister eye. But I mean, if he was good, but every good thing, every bad thing comes to an end. That's all I want to say. To me, that's the teaching moment. That's the teaching moment. Thank you.
Absolutely.
But how we don't know that she didn't get what she wanted and she didn't manipulate him?
That could be absolutely true, my friend. You saying something. You saying something.
Because Badger said she was a cougar. Ray, what's on your heart, brother?
What's the topic on?
We're talking about the young lady, man, that worked in a prison that assisted the man in escaping, and they end up getting caught. I think Badger said it was in Indiana somewhere, and she killed. He's saying she killed herself, self-inflicted gunshot wound. That's allegedly she killed herself. I say it that way. What do you think about this whole situation?
Not to be rude, but I don't really care about that.
You're breaking up on me, right?
Last man said, after he said, I don't, it don't hold. Like, am I now to analyze it to glean something from it? If not, it's irrelevant.
Good deal. Well,
it's just relevant to me.
Raheem, good morning.
Good morning, young lady.
Doing
good. How you doing this morning?
I'm good.
I need to hear from another young lady standpoint. What do you hear in this whole situation? What do you think happened?
Well, I don't. I just believe that he had a motive. It's just like what Cassandra was saying, that she had to con out his husband. First of all, he, like Leonard said, he was a criminal, and I don't know that much about her. All I know is she spent too much time with him, and it was a failure, and the ball was dropped on the facility because they knew that she must have been spending too much time with this individual some kind of way and didn't address it. See, this ain't the first time that rodeo happened, and it might not even be the last.
Yeah.
But they missed it because we know the persuasion of the mind. That's the most important thing that I hope anybody have learned anything, that our minds are so important. And that gentleman was correct, the power of persuasion. That was his gift. Sometimes you don't even have to have that kind of, because there are vulnerable people out here, men, women, boys, and girls. And there are people out here we know that they do that kind of thing. You know, he just called her, and he knew which one to talk to or what he wanted to say to her. And I don't know how long he did it, but he convinced her. See, he didn't have nothing to lose, nothing. So I know it wasn't her that motivated whatever happened. It wasn't her. He had a lot to lose, and he found that one individual that gave him the freedom that he needed to get caught again. That's all that's my opinion on that.
Wow. Rosalind, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good. Rosalind, we're talking about the young lady. We're going to switch up topic and go to something else, but we're talking about the young lady right now that assisted the young man in escaping from prison. Now, you worked in the prison system as well. What do you think happened in that situation?
A lot of manipulation. I don't know, it could have been him or her, but it happened all the time, and she definitely had some help in the situation, because you have to go through different things in order to get a inmate or offender out of a facility. I mean, I know it wasn't in a prison system; it was like probably in a jail, I think. But she definitely had some help. She wasn't. When they finished doing investigation, it's going to be more people involved. But just to piggyback off of Miss Cassandra, like, it happens all the time. Whether it's out here or in there, but it happens all the time. It's just it happens more in a prison system because of the way things are. Like, prison and jails are a whole different world. And when you step inside of a facility and it's mainly men, I know where I work, it was like the majority, it's just men. You have to have, especially being a female, you have to have a strong mind, because men will tell you anything. It's just like out here in the world. They will tell you anything. You have to have a strong mind. I mean, they used to tell me all the time, "You so fine. You look good. You look like Jada Pinkett. You look like Janet Jackson. I look like everybody." But you have to know who you are, But she definitely, I mean, she had some help. But I think it was Charles that said, what do these guys have? I know a lot of clients, they would tell me all the time, they have paid for their kids to go to college right from prison. You have guys out there that they sitting on a rack making thousands and thousands of dollars a day. So they have money. I'm just gonna say that because it's all corrupt from the bottom all the way down from the top to the bottom. It's all corrupt. So the money is flowing. I mean, it may not be in their situation, but they definitely make money in prison. It's nothing new. I mean, I'm pretty sure Raheem and Cassandra, you can piggyback because we work in the system.
Yeah.
But it's definitely all dealing with money. And you, like they say, money is the root of all evil.
Exactly. We're going to switch up and go to another topic. Anybody have anything they want to say before we move on from this one?
Yeah, I want to add a little something to that, man, because we also got to pay attention. Because if I'm gonna be honest with you, I was like Ray and Leonard and Catherine at first. I felt like this was a waste of conversation. It was obvious what was happening. All you had to do was see the story and you just put two and two together. But then if you wanted to get to the details of what could be going through a person's mind to make them do these things, and that's where the conversation ended up going. So, I also want to say about the part that desire played in it. Because, see, he could have said and charmed and did anything he wanted to. But it was something he said that made her say, you know what, I want a piece of that. Down. And so he knew what it was. He knew she had some type of weakness. And he figured it out, and she felt like he could provide that. And it could have just been love. The perception of love. But if that was what it was, it still was a desperate situation. Because I'm hearing what Rosalind said about, how the men have money in there. And it goes to show you how the mind can get so confused to the point to where you will overlook the fact that this person is incarcerated. And he may be incarcerated, or she may be incarcerated for a reason. And you'll start fulfilling your desires or your shortcomings, the things that you lack and that you're missing, and you'll find it in there, whether it's attention. Because, just think about it. If it takes attention of a serial criminal to actually convince you that it might be logical to have a relationship with this person. Like Curtis said, I read the story. I think it was actually 3 women that got pregnant by the same guy. Something, it's something deep had to convince these women that it was worth taking that risk and throwing everything away and ruining their reputation, their image, and everything for that attention. So, it goes to show you just how lonely human beings can be. Some women could be lonely. Some men could be lonely. Some can, I've seen women that become in love with men for being pen pals, and they never met these people. Never went and had a visitation with them. Serial killers get fans and admirers all the time in marriage proposals, and you wonder, how did they get married? They was on death row. They get lethal injection in 10 years. But there's some lonely people out here, man, and it just goes to show you once again, like when the book that Donald wrote, the mind is very fragile.
That's good. Okay, anybody else have anything they want to say before we get out of here on this topic anyway? Okay, let's move on. Cassandra.
Yes, sir.
We talked about this a few days ago, the abortion situation, and now they've actually added something else into it. Mistaken, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I might have read something wrong. Are they also trying to convict people for in some states for that day after pill? So you can't take that now?
I know there's talk of that. Now this isn't going to be a good topic for me because, like I said, I'm a Christian, but I believe that a woman should have the right to choose with her body what she does with her body. So I will get a lot of flack for that because a lot of Christians don't believe in abortion, period. And my thoughts on it are totally different. It's my thought. It ain't what God told me. It's just my thought. God doesn't go against what I want to believe. He says, let every man be persuaded by his own mind.
Yes.
And we all have free will. So this is what I'm just saying. So yeah, there has been some talk about that, Raheem, about the morning after pill. I believe that you need to stay out of a woman's body in all respects. Her body is her choice.
Man, Cassandra, I almost, my mind, I always work a little crazy sometimes. Cassandra, when you say you got to stay out of a woman's body, how we gonna make the babies then? No.
Well, you know what I mean.
I mean,
why was I thinking the same thing?
Exactly.
Now you just went. Now see, now Willa,
Because we dirty.
Monique. When he took that turn all by himself, that was not my doing. Okay.
Charles said he thought the same. Charles he said I thought the same thing. Charles, he was on the same wagon. Captain, what do you say to that, man? Now they're trying to make it where a woman, it's illegal for a woman to even take the day after pill. What do you say about that? Are you stepping? Are men stepping too far into a woman's world?
Man, that's a very controversial, sensitive subject, man. I wasn't ready for that one. I don't know why Sister Cassandra feels she's going to get a lot of backlash on it, because I don't know the percentage of Christians who profess to be against abortion when most of the people that get the abortion are Christians. I don't know if there's a, I mean, maybe there's different denominations of Christians. I don't know. They could be the Mormons or they could be the Baptists, but I know there's a lot of people going, and if you was to ask them who's going to get these abortions with their religion, I think the majority of them say they're Christians. I'm not saying that the Muslims not doing it, because it is most certainly something that is shunned on by the Muslims. But I want to say this, God's gonna be the judge. I mean, if say Martin Luther King's mother aborted him, we wouldn't have a Martin Luther King. We wouldn't have who we have of great scientists, great leaders. I know the minister, his mother tried to abort him 3 times with a clothes hanger.
Wow.
And he tell that story. But if she was successful, I wouldn't have a man who's my leader, Minister Farrakhan.
Absolutely.
And so we want to make sure that you're right. I like what Sister said. That's a choice. Let's go with what Brother Leonard said. Decisions. Decisions. Whether it's a bad decision or whether it's a good decision. The biggest thing about that is, when if she's a victim of rape? When if the child is a victim of rape? Maybe the woman was raped and this is a rape child, or this is a child they already know from the womb that's going to be coming into the world with issues that's going to be changing the quality of life of that mother. She can love it. I mean, that's the way it is. So I think she's right. We have to be able to be wise enough to know that the final judgment of any decision we make when it comes to aborting life is between that person. But the sad thing about it, and this is me, I'm gonna put myself out there. I think the sad thing about it, when women abort life, I don't believe they abort life naturally. I do believe they may abort life because that no good man don't have the galls, the gumptions to stand up and support her and make her feel that you gone, baby. No, I'm gonna take care of mine. But I believe he play a role. Girl, I got the money now. But I don't believe by nature, listen to me, I don't believe by nature any woman wants to abort life. That's my opinion. I'm through with it.
Good deal. Good. Darius, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Pretty good, man. No complaints.
What do you say about this whole situation about the day after drug, the day after pill? They're talking about the woman can't have an abortion. They're even going so far as to say that if she take the morning after pill, that she could have situations and circumstances coming down on her. Are men stepping too much into the women's world?
Yeah. I feel like they're stepping on the toes a little bit, but I mean, I feel a certain way about it, like in terms of like, if anything were to happen, like a bad situation, like a rape or something like that, then I think it's justified. But it's a lot of stuff that goes on along like women's side that kind of gets slipped under the rug when it comes to it. So like a plan B, I wouldn't have anything to say against that. But like for us men, we kind of really, I mean, we have a say so, but we don't really got to say so when we get a woman pregnant. You know what I mean? But for them, they have multiple routes. Like literally, you could leave a baby in a trash can and you have no recourse for it or anything like that. So if it gets to things like that, leaving your baby in a bathroom toilet or any craziness. I know I'm getting to the extreme here, but it does happen. It does happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just things like that. You know, I can see having consequences for, but as far as just the Plan B pill being illegal, I can't really get with that one.
Yeah, got you. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother? What do you say to that? Are men overstepping themselves?
Yeah, we overstepping ourselves. Let's just listen. I am pro-life, right? But I am for a woman's right to choose. I don't have that. I don't have that right to tell a woman what she can and can't do with her body. And see, here's where the fracking bull crap come in at. Because we tend to automatically think about abortion, right? And we lose touch of the fact that you're taking someone's right away to choose. So what's going to be next? What's going to be next? Is the Second Amendment going to be next? And you using the thing that always get me, the hypocrisy really gets me, because this is just in my opinion, most of the people that are truly pro-life will then look you in your face and say they for the death penalty. Wow. So now explain to me how you are pro-life. You saying that abortion is murder, but yet you supporting the murder of this criminal. Okay, well, if that's how it's an oxymoron to me. It's like hypocrisy. It's like a walk-in bed of hypocrisy. And then you use God as an excuse to be pro-life, and they throw it up there all the time. All they're doing is trying to control the narrative. If they keep us talking about abortion automatically connects to the mind as murder. And then you automatically know you're talking about abortion, that's a child. Right? So psychologically, right? But all at the same time, the Bible says thou shalt not murder. That does not just apply to women having abortions. That applies to the dude that's throwing the switch. That applies to all. So it's either you're going to be one or you're going to be the other. But all at the same time, ladies, please understand what is going to be next. Is it going to be, are we going to go back to the time when it was, I don't want to say legal, but in a roundabout way it was legal? Are we going to go back to the time when a man, if he was married to a woman, he could rape his wife? Are we going to go back to the time when if a man, there used to be a time a man might beat his wife up, the police come, and he just tell man, look, she said some things, blah, 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 and I just had to get her straight. And the police walk right out the door. Oh, okay, all right, do what you do, and keep it pushing. So I just, listen, I think that you can be pro-life, but understand the larger picture of it all. That's up to that woman. That's between that woman and God.
Good deal.
Let God deal with her.
Absolutely. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We'd love to have your input. We're talking about right now, are men overstepping themselves in telling women that even if they take that day after pill, that there could be consequences and repercussions that's going to come behind that? Badger, what do you say to that?
Oh, I had to get my emotions in check for this one. Because when a woman's told that she has a 100% chance of death, even attempting to carry, that's a really rough decision for that woman to make. And to me, it's hers. Because if death does happen, then the husband or male, the good husband, has to figure out how they're going to take care of the children. That's, already having children, and then there's the potential of losing both of them and having to watch this happen. That's very rough and stressful and all kinds of deeper emotions than probably a lot of people can relate to.
There's a lot tied into it.
Because and I'm speaking from personal experience. So sometimes, and I was sitting there thinking, all these people talking about that are for it, I wonder if they think trees are alive or insects or animals and stuff like that. And if they're that pro-life, then they need to stop eating meat and stop being, and hell, they can't even eat plants. So I guess they'll just die off, which would probably be a good thing. Because it's such a double standard in my opinion, it's a double standard, because they'll be one of the first people to tell you to kill the murderer or to kill somebody. But then now they're turning around saying you can't do this and you can't do that.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah. Wow, that's actually harder to talk about than I thought. Me and my wife had to go through this, so that's what I meant by personal experience. And it was the hardest decision we've ever made. And notice us.
Yes, absolutely.
Because we spoke about it, we talked about it, and multiple doctors. And she had 100% more death. Her physical body absolutely could not do it. Matter of fact, the doctors were the ones that figured out the solution, because there was only two options. So I think every situation is going to be different depending on the individual. Because there are women that decided to go through with it and lived, and then there are women that decided that died or both died. So, but that was the decision.
Wow, that's good. That's good. It's heavy, brother. It's real heavy. It's very heavy. Let me go to let me go to Rico, and we got a couple other callers just calling. I'm coming to you, each and every one of you, in just a second. Rico, what's on your heart, man? Are men overstepping themselves and telling a woman that she can't even take the day after pill?
Yes, but I'm gonna say these two words, blurred lines. And see, this is how it can get blurry. Mankind is overstepping its boundaries, but it just isn't men, because there's some women on this side too.
Yeah.
That's for doing that. So I want to say that government is overstepping their lines. That way, can't nobody go make this a men and women issue, even though it is a majority of white men in power that dictate the direction. You know what I'm saying? They still take support of some of those Candace Owens types and some of the white Republicans that go along with it, or whoever's against abortion. Second of all, I think we've all expressed our opinion about abortion so many times, but this ain't even the conversation or the question. The question is are men overstepping their boundaries by trying to include the Plan B? The subject of the topic is Plan B. other object of the preposition, whatever you want to call it. I ain't got time to break down the sentence. But that's what the topic is about, the plan B. So let me tell you what the plan B is. I've been selling it for a while, but you know, I was buying them on a regular basis for a second there. That plan B is to destroy that egg before it comes to a full fertilization. Within 48 hours, you have to take that pill. It costs like $50. So that's cheap. And it's getting rid of the egg that might, you know, leave when a woman goes on her menstrual cycle. Or it gets rid of the egg that might be about to turn into a baby, but is, you know, just getting fertilized from sperm that a man sometimes might put on a sheep. So can they come back now and say, okay, everybody that masturbates, that's illegal. You wasting that sperm. Hey, woman, you got to stop them periods and don't even have no birth control. Period. Because you're preventing that egg from doing what it needs to do. To the plan B, like I said, you have to take it within 48 hours for it to work. And it simply destroys the egg. So it won't form into a baby, a fetus. So we have to have a clear understanding of what they're putting their feet into, what they're stepping on. They are stepping on women's rights, because that's pretty much is no different than a woman having a period and getting rid of the eggs that was in or whatever. I guess that's how it works. But that's what the plan B does. So yes, they are going too far. And if they get this passed, and like I said, not men, but government is going too far. And if they succeed in this, they may end up taking birth control off the market altogether.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Toya with a T, good morning. How you doing this morning? Toya?
Good morning. How you doing?
Hey, doing good.
Hello, how y'all doing?
There you go. I wondered about y'all word for a second. There you go. Toya, what do you think about this? Are men, and for the sake of the conversation, are men going too far? Are men going too far? Telling the woman now, they've already said the abortion situation. Now they're stepping across the line saying, look, if you take that plan B, if you take that pill, you have some consequences and repercussions coming to you. You cannot take that pill. Are men going too far?
You know, that's a kind of a tricky question, right? Only because I don't believe in abortion. I believe that we should be adult enough and have enough self-control to get up. I'm just with murdering, period. You can be a child molester or a murderer. I'm not for murdering people. So I feel like, you know, all humans have lost it. We have no self-control. None. And everything is about power. Everything is about control. Nobody wants to listen to the truth no more. Nobody wants to even hear the truth or do the right thing anymore. We just want to be free willy and do what we want to do. You know, so for me, the same way we have laws to keep us in line, we need to have bills govern too, because we get it out of control when it comes to killing babies. So I'm going to take this as a law, just like anything else, right? You can't drink and drive, but they still make alcohol. You know what I'm saying? So I just believe that, of course, the United States is about power, right? But they're coming up with this because it needs to be some kind of regulation and control. And just maybe if we take certain steps, maybe that'll make people more mindful. You know, when you look at 2.7 million babies dead from abortion, where's that coming from? Because you're allowed to do it. You know what I'm saying? But if you put restrictions on it, then it can possibly curb that. And I think that for some, that's what it's about. You know, but in this melting pot we call America, you know, we don't do the right thing. So it ain't no way I'm going to sit here and say, oh, yeah, you know, we're doing the right thing here. No, there's an agenda behind what they're doing, telling people what they can or cannot do. So I'm not going to say that man has overstepped their boundaries, because man had to put laws in place in order for us to have some kind of structure and order. And I feel the same way with this when it comes to, you know, my body as a woman. you know, and I'm a woman, and I'm gonna do what I want to do. Can't nobody tell me what I can't do. I'm gonna do what I want to do. Period. Wrong, right, or indifferent.
Good
But I
deal.
just
Good
do
deal.
believe in our society that, you know, we need some kind of structure. 'Cause we out of control.
Absolutely. 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 Rosalind, what's on your heart? Before you say that, 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. It's the phone number. Give us a call. We love to have your input. Rosalind, what's on your heart?
That I mean, this is a very touchy subject to me. Because of my situation as far as like medically. I've never taken like birth control, all of that. It's because of the medical condition that I have. I feel like, and I had to do research about all of that, like as far as trying to have kids or whatever. But I remember going to work when I was working at the prison system. I just found out I was pregnant, happiest moment of my life. And I got to work, and they had just installed this X-ray machine, and it goes all the way over your body. You know, it scans your entire body to make sure you don't have contraband or whatever. And I got to the machine, and our warden, he was a male, and he said, "Hey, you got to go through the machine." And I said, "Wait a minute." I said, "I'm pregnant." And he said, "Well, yeah, you got to go through it." I said, "No, I'm not going through it. I'm not risking my child to go through this X-ray machine because y'all just put this thing in." So anyway, make a long story short, I had a choice I had to make. And the choice was, my doctor said I was high risk. It wasn't a good idea to go through an X-ray machine every day. So I had to take off the whole 8 months of my pregnancy. I had to take off work. And I mean, it's basically like the same. Like if they say that you can't take this, I won't have a choice. Like if they tell me, you know, now, because I do want more kids. If they say, "Hey, okay, you're pregnant, but something has happened, you can't, it's either you or the baby," right? So, I mean, I won't be able to make a choice. It'll have to be me. You know, I can't avoid it, you know, if they make the choice of that.
It says your phone went down low. Your phone went down low.
Okay, I can't. Can you hear me?
Yes, that's much better.
I won't be able to have that choice. So, I mean, it's something to think about, and it's beyond rape. I mean, you have other situations like, you know, the one I just, you know, you have some women, they have multiple kids when they get pregnant, and sometimes they have to abort some of them, you know, because they can't have all of them. So, I mean, it's way past rape, and it's a big decision. I mean, I'm not for abortion, but sometimes I wouldn't abort. That's just me. But sometimes you have situations to where you have to make a decision. I mean, you know, imagine, like Badger was saying, imagine a husband making, you know, a decision about, you know, it's either the wife or the baby. You know, it's either or, but it's very touchy. It's especially to the women that, you know, like in my situation, it's very touchy, very emotional, and it's going to be a lot of things that's going to take place after they make the decision.
Yeah,
you're going to have a lot of stuff going on after.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely. That's good. That's good. Charles, what's on your heart?
I'm agreeing with a lot of things that people are saying. And as for what Rico was saying about the pill itself, I don't really know, man. I mean, we need laws. So people, you say man, but we know that it's not only man. So we know it's the government. And it's only some states. It's not all states.
Yes, absolutely.
Are banning the medication. Just like, you know, they ban medicine all the time and for different situations. But as for this medicine right here, which what Rico said it does. I'm not sure, bro. You know what I'm saying?
It's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah, because, you know, when life, and it goes to when life starts and things like that, and things like that, you know. So if you're for it or if you're against abortion, or they call it pro-life, pro-choice, And I look at it as you had the choice before you got pregnant, but that's just me. So it's actually really pro-life to me, pro-life, pro-death. But some of the biggest people against these things that we're talking about are not just men, man. Remember I talked about the lady, Miss Ali?
Yes.
She speaks highly against this stuff. She speaks highly against it. And she's silenced. She's a Muslim woman, right? She's silenced like crazy. They silence her for that. For speaking against it, because she says that black women, and she goes into the whole thing that black women didn't ask for this. They didn't ask for abortion rights. You know, this was brought on for something else, but I understand. But I'm ready to let it go. But I had a question to me, and Ray talked about it. And I know this is a Christian radio. Is abortion sin?
See, and that way that a real tricky. It's a tricky area because
I mean,
technically, if you want to be technical about it, then abortion
isn't
is
sin
murder.
technical?
No, just tell me now. If you want to get technical about it, then abortion is murder, and yes, murder is a sin. And so it depends on how one's gonna deal with it. But
I would say yes, because Curtis said, Curtis said that he was saying that like the person who pulls the lever in the death penalty, it's murder.
It is.
But
go ahead.
Is it murder? Is fighting in a war murder?
If you're killing somebody, it's murder. If you want to be real technical,
so if you kill someone, it's murder.
Yes,
all the time. I don't think so.
No, you might be defending.
I don't think so, brother.
Somebody.
Yeah, because look at what Rico just said. If I'm defending myself, it's not murder. It's defending.
But that was
and all killing is not
Rico
murder.
Rico just poured that into the conversation, but that wasn't what.
But that's just. But I understand. But no, that's where I was gonna go though. Because my whole thing when I was asking you questions in the levels that all killing, I was gonna say all killing isn't murder.
We're gonna deal with this part on Way Out Wednesday tomorrow. Cause we shifting right now. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
Hey, Raheem.
Yes.
Well, hold on, Raheem. Can I make this point real quick? Once again about the Plan B. Plan B is stopping the risk of the potential for pregnancy, because some people take the Plan B and they don't know if they're pregnant or not. They just know that they had a mistake.
Exactly.
Maybe the condom bust.
Yeah.
Or maybe somebody didn't pull out, and there's a risk I may get pregnant, so I need to take this Plan B to prevent the possibility of me being pregnant, just in case. So I mean, some people
preventive.
They just taking it as an extra step of birth control after the situation.
Wow.
Hey, Raheem.
Yes.
Raheem, can I throw something in here real quick?
Real quick. Everybody's saying real quick. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Curtis?
To put the hypocrisy on display, right? Somebody tell me why there's this push, an initiative to stop abortion, right? But there's no push and or initiative to stop men from having vasectomies. We gonna go there.
See, y'all put in a whole lot of different areas.
That's nowhere near the same. Stop.
I would like to speak on that one.
Hold on.
No, check this out now. What we said.
That's like a woman getting her tubes tied. Stop.
Hold on. Let him go. Let Curtis finish his thought. Go ahead, Curtis.
What we saying is, if a woman gets pregnant, we are going to deny her the option to choose if she is capable of bearing this child, taking care of this child, all of the things that go along with being pregnant. I'm a man. I ain't never been pregnant, but we living in a world where men getting pregnant now. But anyway, we're going to take her right to choose that. But as men, we still reserve the right, right? We still reserve the right to go and get snipped to where we can't create children no more.
But see, what I see the difference in that, Curtis, is the process.
the process, and the reason why I say the process is because if you get a vasectomy, you know, you have not gone through the process of being with a woman, and maybe the egg is being went through the whole cycle and stuff. That process is not happening. And so if a woman is having an abortion, then certain acts have taken place that can actually start or begin a life. You having a vasectomy, you having I think, and I could be wrong, brother. Y'all talk to me as well. But I think
you're right. You're not wrong at all, Raheem. You're not wrong at all. That it is your thing. I know. I see exactly where you're going, and you are absolutely right to a degree. Because now what we have did was we have connected a physical interaction that probably was done in sin. Right? We have connected a physical action to justify the mistreatment of another human. Right? All at the same time. I remember one time we had a abortion topic on this show, and I remember hearing you say that life starts with a man.
Yes, I did.
Right? If that is your belief,
and I got pushed back on that one.
No, you did. Oh, you absolutely did. Right? And I understood what you were saying, but all at the same time, if that is your belief, and for those who believe just as you do, right? If that is the belief, then a man getting a vasectomy should not be allowed, because life actually starts with him.
Ooh, I mean, again, I'm gonna tell you like I told Curtis a minute ago, Charles a few minutes ago. We'll talk about that on Way Out Wednesday tomorrow. We'll add that to Way Out Wednesday tomorrow and talk about that, because that's gonna take us totally.
Let's do that, because I'm ready for that one.
A totally different direction. We got quite a few people that's been holding on for a while, that's been waiting. And I want to go to each and every one of them. We have Goddess. She actually just came on with this as well. I want to touch her too. But right now, I'm going to go to Willow. Willow, what's on your heart?
Raheem, I don't believe in abortion, but to take people's rights away, I think that shouldn't happen, because I mean, we serve a powerful God that gives us the right, the free will to choose. So, but on this earth, the government makes those lawful decisions about our lives, even though a lot of them are compromising to what we believe. But that happens because these are the very people that we put in office. And I say that because we either vote them in office or we don't vote. So that's what happens when they get to make those laws that we believe that we have the right to. So I don't think that, and I don't believe in abortions, and I'm going to keep making that statement. But I also believe that when you got a young lady who's very promiscuous, and she's having multiple children, without any regards for taking care of her children or making sure that they're provided for, they're sheltered. Those children that are going to school, dirty, you know what I'm saying? Now you are responsible for those children, because if you got a job, your funds that you make every day are also being taking care of those children that she don't care anything about having. So you can look at that a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that's my opinion on that one.
Good deal. Leonard, talk to me, brother. What's on your heart?
No, I'm just listening. I'm against anything that blocks human reproductive rights. So it's I don't have to go. I don't need the story. I'm against it. Period. I don't care what the situation may be. A woman has that sole right, I believe, to decide what she would do with her body under all circumstances. There is not one circumstance that would change my mind about that.
Wow. Okay. Ray, talk to me, brother. Let's see what the young generation is saying about this whole thing. Ray.
However, there should be, as the law was concerned.
Yeah.
You do have to understand, this is your government, wicked people in your government trying to take away your human reproductive right. Because guess what? If you don't want an abortion, you don't have to have one. You don't have to have one.
Okay.
So this is for people who want them. Why are you so against people who want them?
I think, and again, I think, and it's just me talking, I could be totally off base, and I am sometimes. It's a power thing. Watch
Exactly.
yourself. Watch yourself, Ray.
Exactly. Power over other people.
Exactly. And that's what I think it is. Let me go to Ray. Ray, what's on your heart? Cut it out, man. I see you over there.
I think this is a dangerous topic because attacking Plan B is essentially attacking birth control. So what I want to focus on is if they're. Remember the last time I said they're trying to mute women at all costs, and this is the play. This is the next level, right? Now they take away Plan B, so a woman can't, situate herself or take preventative measures. Next will be birth control. But the funny thing is, I don't know if y'all been paying attention, but there's commercials for male birth control out now.
Yes.
It's prevalent all across all media. We got birth control now. But then there's an attack on Plan B, which is essentially birth control for a woman.
Exactly.
So, like, this is what I mean. This is, and another big thing is like them associating it with faith and religion to create a church state, to create a one mind. Like, we're watching our government. This is the takeaway for me. We're watching our government restructure itself based off of the things that they pass, based off the things they attempt to pass and put into play. That's what we need to be looking at. I mean, we're going to be able to a degree defend against it, but like if you're a Christian or a person of faith and it says the law comes out and says this, and then you're told to obey the law of the land, what do you do then? Right? This is why I don't prescribe to the government as being law of the land. I think to me, this is an obvious play in description that this is the law of man, not the law of the land. So we got to be careful with this. We see the play versus abortion. Next is Plan B, because that's the thing. Is the first thing is never the target.
Yeah,
abortion is not the target. We got to look at the second and the third. But when the second and the third play, that's usually what they've been going for the whole time. So we see it now. We see women's birth control, taking the option completely away from women. This is another way to silence them.
Wow. And this thing is so complicated, man. It's so very complicated. Badger, I think you say you had something on your heart. What's on your heart, brother?
Yeah, because I've been researching this since the very beginning, especially since going through what we did. And I always have this thought in my head that if religion and state weren't together, were separated, would this law even be coming into even exist? So there's a lot of political field area as well. Hello?
Go ahead, brother. We hear you.
Okay. Everything was silent. So to sit there, we're not supposed to try to control other human beings, because the one thing we were given was freedom of choice. To work on our connection with the source. So to be a human being that sit there and go, we don't care what you're going through or what could possibly happen. You have to do it our way. And all I hear in my head is what's been going on for the last almost 2,000 years since Christ died, of the folks in power using whatever they want to or choose to use, either out of context or whatnot. And the interesting part is, based on statistics and science and research, there has been less abortions over the last 30 years. Like, before the laws were passed in the States, there were less abortions than there were in 1980s. So here they are passing these laws, even though the numbers have been going down before the laws were made, all by themselves. And then all of a sudden now they're wanting to implement these laws. They want to go against birth control, or the day after pill, and things like that. We should be concerned on what they're trying to do next. Oh, by the way, gas prices went back up, if anyone's noticed about that.
Oh, yeah.
So it's, why in the world are we making these laws? And with me being into philosophical ideologies and things of that nature, and all the research that I like to do, because I like to be informed, everything that this law is coming from people in power, both male and female, that are pushing a belief into the law system.
Wow.
Which legally, by law, in our Constitution, is not supposed to happen. So why are we, the American people, allowing it to happen when most people in America are against it? This law being put into place.
Absolutely. Keep this thing going. Let me keep this thing going. I want to go to our Goddess. Goddess, you back with us? What's on your heart, sis? And good morning. How you doing this morning? Goddess, you there? I think we might have lost. No, she's still there. Bishop, good morning, Bishop. How you doing this morning?
Hey, good morning. I'm great. How you doing? How's everyone?
Hey, doing good. We're talking about this Plan B, man, and how, they already try to attack the abortion, the woman's right to have an abortion. Now they're even saying that if a woman take a Plan B the day after pill, that, there's consequences and repercussions that could come from that. Are we as men overstepping ourselves too much into the women's realm?
Yeah, that's a little bit too much. And I'm pro-life, and I'm also pro-choice. I understand there are certain conditions that it's necessary for you to abort a baby. But you just run around here. I forgot who was speaking, talking about these women having all these babies. Then they turn around and put these babies in the system and put them in foster care, to put them up for adoption. And sometimes these children end up aging out of foster care because nobody ever takes the time to raise them or adopt them or take them into their family. So you as a taxpayer and I as a taxpayer have to pay the burden of that child. At the same time, and going back to the question, do I think are men overstepping the bound? There's a lot of women that are voting that's going that same way. These evangelicals, so-called, I said just like so-called Christians, who I deem to be hypocrites in a lot of ways, simply because they say, well, pro-life, don't abort, but they're some of the main ones that believe in the death penalty. They believe in carrying a gun and shooting somebody. So they're pro-life, they can carry a gun. They're pro-life, they shouldn't, put these people that commit crimes in prison or put them on death row. So for me, that's what I see and that's what I hear, and I talk to different people that have that mindset, and then I hit them with that statement. They say, well, it ain't the same thing. Like you say, you're pro-life. Pro-life is pro-life.
Yeah.
Regardless of the circumstance, you're only targeting the women that get pregnant, and then they feel like they need to abort because of the guy that they're dealing with or their situation, circumstance. And I know some firsthand circumstances. A 13-year-old child, first time having sex, she don't even know what life is all about except she's still a baby, so to speak. You think she should carry a baby for 9 months, and who's going to deal with it? We'll put them up for adoption. It ain't as easy as you think. So, now I don't think anyone should make a determination of what someone should do with their body or their circumstance situation.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, I don't have a heaven and hell to put none of. And these people, I think it's more so out of some level of guilt dealing with some people, because what happened to the blacks during slavery, or different individuals that were put into slavery. And so this is crazy. When we got to help save these lives and all this stuff right here, and they think they're gonna get them a shoe into the kingdom of God. That ain't gonna get you no shoe into the kingdom of God because you stop women from having an abortion. That's just flat out stupid.
Wow.
There's a whole lot of stuff that involves to get you to the kingdom of God, other than trying to stop somebody from having an abortion. You got to have love in your heart. You got to forgive. You got to do. There's so many other things. You got to love the Lord with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength.
That's good.
So
That's good.
This is the matter right here. Now, you know, I can get long with it, so I'm gonna shut up. But
I see.
No,
I see.
think we are, and I think a lot of people are trying to intervene in people's lives that should stay out of it.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. Good deal. Good deal. Ibrahim, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm doing well this morning, and I hear everybody's in a mood. Yeah, you know, I just kind of caught on to what the theme is today, and I don't think anybody oversteps their bounds, and I think that someone made a statement about the Constitution of the United States and people trying to impart their will. That would be kind of like missing the point of law period. You know, our laws come from Roman law, judgment law, common law, and common law developed in certain states in this country that are supposed to be law and common law, which is judge-made law. But it's the opinion of people. Law is a living thing, and it colors. It has a colors to it, right? And you hear those statements all the time. It simply means that somehow the will of the people, the will of whoever's in power, translate into laws that architect our society. You know, I can think of laws that are still on the book, like you know, not looking at a white woman in the eye, miscegenation, mixing of races, right? By mixing with the white race, country, right? But those are laws on the book, you know, and California tried to change them to some other law. But what I'm saying by this is, you know, they started what Hitler started. They started in California, North Carolina. We still got some alive that were put in a situation, and they're still fighting for their right to have a baby. You know, so it goes both ways. It's the right of a man. It's the right of an adult to manage their society, whether you're man or woman. It's the right of an adult. If you're a part of society, right, then are you part of a culture? Then you have to. That's who you're a part of, right? Is it wrong? I don't know. It's wrong because nobody else decided is this child a life. I mean, and when it's a life, if there's something else to it, you know, scientists want to say one thing, then they say the heartbeat. Then the brain operates at a certain age, right? Is it life when it's born? There's some Christian folk can point to the scriptures say that when the child is born, you know, and we can go on and on about those kind of things, but this is our culture. So how do we eliminate? I'm like the other guy. I'm more to the right than left, but I think that any woman, any person has a right if they're assaulted, if it's not their own idea, if they were forced into something, right? Then I think that person has a right to do a society right, whatever, and the law should be on their side to make sure that they're not put in a certain situation to have this child. You know, they didn't force it. It wasn't their idea will.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as an adult, if I have sex with a woman, I'm gonna take the sex, and the woman has a baby. I was taught in my day that's when I kick in, right? I don't care if I don't like her. It was a one night stand. I have a responsibility to that child. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna try to and I would try to see that child, make sure that child taken care of up until it grows up. And that's the way I am about that. You know what I mean? Now I ain't gonna call it, I don't know this woman. You know, she should have abortion. No, that's my responsibility. That's my responsibility for every child in the community. And as far as going into the system and all like that, the system is screwed up. But how come people don't step in and raise their own children? We get mad. How come people get mad at white people because they adopt black kids? You know, or whatever. Or they get mad at homosexuals because they adopt kids, right? So I kind of mixed feelings about all that. But what I'm saying is that society is supposed to step this community process. The children are the community, and it's a community process. And let me be cold and say what Grandma used to say. You tell the little girls and everything, take a penny. She said, if you don't want to get pregnant, take that penny and put it between your knees. Now, we allow, I mean, like the other men say about sex, 13-year-old, what do they know about sex? Well, hell, we take a 6-year-old kid say he's a girl, and all of a sudden everybody go here, oh, we got to support him. He wants to be a girl. What the hell is wrong with that? I mean, does that strike you? We say to a child,
Ibrahim,
a person can't even say that they're
Ibrahim,
you have to be 21 years old before
Ibrahim,
you really fully know. Well, yeah, go ahead.
Ibrahim, I gotta move on, brother. You get long-winded on me there, brother. I gotta keep it. I gotta keep it going. No. You good. I love the passion that you have. Captain, what's on your heart?
Well, at the beginning of this, I did say it was very controversial, and also it's political.
Yes.
I'm talking to my Christian family who's trying to make sense of how do you correlate your Christian belief with a government that's anti. Everything that the Bible tell you don't do, the government say you can do. It is a very touch and go. Here's my brother talking about, is this a sin? Well, if that's a sin, abortion is a sin, then masturbation is a sin. The Bible said it's better to put your seed in the belly of a whore than to just don't waste. Now y'all ain't heard that part. Y'all skipped that part now.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard
You understand? So is that a sin? If the scriptures say it's better to put your seed, brothers, in the belly of a whore than to put it on a damn sheet in a washcloth. So now we can't condemn our women, because if God wants an abortion, he naturally gives the woman the abortion called miscarriage. Y'all heard about that? See, that's God's way of saying if something is wrong with that seed, you ain't got to take it out the game. I take it out the game. But it has to be pro-life. And if that's pro-life, so Jesus says, I come to give you life, man, in abundance. Then that means homosexuality got to be condemned because it's pro-life. You can reprocreate. Two men going on each other's backside cannot produce life.
That's right.
So if we're going to talk about pro-life, we got to talk about anti-life. That's just the way it is. So don't pull the cover off of one part and don't want to talk about the other part. You put all the gays on one island, man. In 100 years, they're gone because they can't produce life. Now, if you're going to sit there and say, I want to get rid of this child, I can't take care of it. Well, I'm sure there's some gay people say, I'd like to have it. Don't abort it. Give it to me. Give it to us. We want children. So it could be something like that. But the bottom line is, why would a woman want to abort a child? That's the question. Why would she want to? Would she want to because she had sit there and made a choice to lay with some no good dude who ain't going to take care of her? Did she didn't take all the necessary precautions? Oh, did he lie? He didn't pull out. Well, listen, we grown people. I like what the brother said about Sharada Ali. That's Sisters in the Nation. She speaks the truth. She said, black men and black women, we can get together and we are peaceful as long as we land in a bed together. But it's when we get up, we got a problem. Most women who wind up, you got child molestation. You got men going up in their daughters, producing. That's abortion. That's the kind of stuff you can't do. A child don't want to have to carry. How you gonna put an 11-year-old child to carry a child because she was raped or she was taken advantage by a family member? So there are certain services. But here's what you got to understand. I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna be through with it. These are laws. When you kept saying, Brother Raheem, men, it ain't men. And I like what the brother government that I doorstep. And if you say, man, just say it right, white men. But you know the abortion clinics was flooded in the black community because eugenics, the whole purpose of abortion clinic was depopulate black people. That's the origin of it. That's the origin of it. The origin of Planned Parenthood that flooded the black community. I can't think of his name. But the goal to depopulate us.
Margaret Sanger.
Babies left and right. So let's think about the origin. And then at the same time, this same attitude, depopulation, is very real again today. So here we have our children out there killing each other. This is what they fear. White people have zero population, while we have a 1 to 0 pop. Otherwise, for every one that die in our community, man, 3 are being born. They're being born. For every one that died in the white community, damn 0 to 1 being born. So if you're trying to be in a rule of white supremacy, and you're looking at the society going from white to brown to black, you become afraid that you're losing white privilege. So we got to stop this population. So we flood the community with guns, let them die that way. We flood the community with drugs, let them die that way. We flood the community with let them die. Why? Because the ultimate goal is to stay in the power and to be in the power as white folk. And we can sugarcoat all that, what we want, but you ain't running nothing until you be like the Mormons, create a society where you can practice the law of your Christian religion, and the hell with what the government try to tell you. Either you're going to obey God's law or you're going to obey that law. You can't be between the middle, as the brother said, the blurred line. You got to make a choice. Because at the end of the day, people are taking not away your rights to have the rights to choose. They taking away your God-given rights. That's what you should be arguing about. And
exactly. Exactly. Willow, what's on your heart, Willow? Rico, come to you next, brother.
Come back to me, Raheem. I'm taking the kids to school.
Okay. Rico, what's on your heart?
Man, I mean, I really don't have anything to say without repeating myself, and then having to go back and repeat what Captain just said. You know, first off, I want to say that I agree with him wholeheartedly. That's my views. You know, my opinion about it. You know, but just to stick to the topic of the conversation and about Plan B and just, you know, overstepping the boundaries. I said it earlier. Next, you know, if they're gonna say, you know, that's ending life or just, you know, stopping the process of a possible pregnancy and interfere with Plan B, then next, you know what I'm saying, they're gonna say if you skeeting on the streets, you commit an abortion. You know, I definitely spoke that earlier. So it's being reiterated because that's obviously well, first off, if they want to be consistent and fair across the line, they would have to do that. They would have to do that if they wanted to be fair. So if they want to cross that line and go into Plan B and start saying this about birth control, then okay, what they gonna say about miscarriages? What they gonna say about your monthly cycle that rinses away that egg? What I mean, what are they gonna say about your skeeting on the sheets? They gonna come and check your laundry or something? I mean, you know, it's where do they draw the line? Government is going too far. Now, my beliefs on abortion, that ain't what the question was about. But once again, I say I agree with Captain wholeheartedly. But if they want to go to the point of associating abortion with possible pregnancy, if they want to associate a life with just an egg that just got fertilized, I can't agree with that. You know, I mean, and he's telling the truth about the depopulation. Margaret Sanger, Planned Parenthood, you know, all that is funded by the Ku Klux Klan and David Duke. You know, they started Margaret Sanger. She was a big segregationist. So it was to actually keep us from producing children, melanated people.
David Duke left him alive when Margaret Sanger was operating, brother.
Wow.
Say it
That's
again.
good.
David Duke wasn't alive when Margaret Sanger started operating.
But he's supporting it now. No, I get what you're saying. I didn't say he started it. Margaret Sanger was way back, and David Duke is now. But I thank you for that education too. For those that didn't understand that, Planned Parenthood was around way before David Duke too. So I'm speaking about somebody that's alive now compared to somebody that's dead. But you know,
Exactly.
I think
Both of y'all can't go at the same time.
After World War One.
Okay.
You know, Margaret Sanger and all that.
I wasn't finished.
Hold on. Ibrahim, hold on. Go ahead. Go ahead, Rico. Finish your thought, brother.
Like I said, it wasn't saying that they were together at the same time, you know. So, and that's not. I don't want to get people distracted in that. My point is that Margaret Sanger was a segregationist, and David Duke, who is alive today, is still part of that same organization. He supports Planned Parenthood.
The same system.
So I'm just drawing that association. You know, if anybody got that confused, I appreciate the brother for doing that, but I wasn't finished. But the thing is there's a pro and a con to it. You know, to a certain extent, you have it's almost like a lose-lose situation when it comes to us. When it comes to Planned Parenthood, you know, it's almost like damned if you do, damned if you don't, because you can see evidence and reasons why we shouldn't support it once you see what Margaret Sanger stood for and how Hillary Clinton promoted her as, you know, something that was good, but we now know that she had ulterior motives and beliefs, that she was a white supremacist. But then at the same time, we know that it is necessary to a certain extent.
Wow.
You know, so I mean, man, that's just a real touchy subject, you know, and you know, my opinion on it really doesn't matter, you know, but I just want to make sure that we don't confuse the plan B with abortion, because that's what happens. They end up trying to put everything under one umbrella.
Yeah.
And then sooner or later you start having all your rights taken away when really and truly they shouldn't even be associated together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Cassandra, what's on your heart? Toya with a T, coming to you next, sis.
Yeah, I just I stand where I stand as usual. I'm not going to shift and we shouldn't shift out what we stand for because of anybody's what they believe. I believe that it should be a woman's choice, point blank, period. I don't care who was planning what. When I had an abortion as a young woman, I know what my situation was, and I know why I made that decision. Nobody coerced me. Nobody did that. I made a conscious decision that was the best thing for my life. And no one can tell me that, you shouldn't have done it because of anything, because they trying to get y'all not to have I don't care. That was my choice. So, it's a personal decision to me. That's why I'm saying people need to leave that to the individual.
Yeah.
It's personal. Having a child is personal. You're not going to be there to raise that child. You're not going to give one dime, but you want to dictate what a person should do. Stop it.
Exactly. Toya?
Yeah, no, I agree. I too come from the world of the abortion place, right? And I'm the one that was never able to have a child again. So with that, my passion lies in this is something that can't be handled. And for me to think, what I'm saying? I was in some really crazy circumstances, but I regret I ever done that. When I look at the America now, or United States now, trying to act like it, well, there's this thing in religion that they feel like so they say, just talk. They're trying to get back onto it, because God don't like that. That's not what he want to do. And, back when they were going through their whole little voting thing, it was like, if America wants to get back on track, then, we need to stop doing abortions. And yeah. This is from a religious aspect now. I'm not saying this is true, but this is one of the concepts that they speak of. From a religious aspect, to get back right in line with the Lord, they feel like they need to, hey, we're not going to be, indulging and entertaining in these things. However, I do believe as a woman that if I couldn't handle it, God don't need no help killing nobody. He can help me have a miscarriage or an abortion. And when I look at the timeline of the abortion history, it goes back to the Egyptian days. They used to take a piece of crocodile dung and put it in a piece of dough and insert it in a woman's vagina to encourage a miscarriage. So abortion is nothing new. This is something that's, again, as long as you have human and evil and wickedness, we will always seem to psych ourselves out to think that murder is a result to anything. And I think that's what we've done as a human race. We resort to murder instead of really using the fortitude that we come with as humans. Humans, just as Black folk, right? I thought back in the day we had 26 kids, 17, 13, 10, and we made it. But then now we've advanced, but now we can't make it if we have more than 2 or 3, because now there's going to be this kind of struggle. And again, I just feel like we're off-centered. You know what I mean? So again, from a person who had an abortion and was damaged to the point to where I haven't been able to have kids since then, I still don't agree with it. I do still agree that it is a woman's choice.
Yes.
But when it comes to the United States putting themselves in a position, if they're going to try to do the right thing, then they're just wiping their hands saying, hey, we don't want to be involved with it. In the same way everything else is wrong, and you don't do and you find a way to do it, you're going to have to find a way to do that too, because we're going to wipe our hands clean up and say that it's a no-go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, this thing is so deep right now, man. Charles, talk to me. Ray, come to you next. Charles?
Hold on. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty much like what Rico was saying, man. I feel the same way, and just repeating it.
And then was it Captain? He said a lot of things that were interesting also. But I guess those are things we'll talk about tomorrow on Wild Out Wednesday. I don't want to wild out too much today. But even though we spoke about Planned Parenthood and things like that, there are and I heard this last night when I was listening to Jason Whitlock. There's a group out there that does the opposite of what Planned Parenthood does, and everything is a study. Every time if you don't let the mother hear the baby or see the sonogram and things like that, then they're more likely to be thinking about abortion. But the abortion percentage goes down when the mother hears the baby. And things like that. But as for the whole conversation, we're talking about the Planned Parent, the day with the day after pill, Plan B, what have you. I think it is the government, because it's not all states are for that. You got to remember that's not an all state thing. That's certain states that are talking about that. Not all the states, not even the federal government is talking about it. You understand? The feds are not even talking about it. They're putting it in the state's hand. And that state, which I thought was Virginia, but I'm not sure. Those people at that state have to vote. If that's what they want, they have to get out there and vote and put a person in there who thinks like they think. You understand? So it does show like at a state level, because I know, or at a county level, things like that. Leonard always push, you get out there on the county levels, and it's not always just voting for a president. You got to vote for who represents you, so that if this is what you believe, you want that pill to be legal in your state, then you get yourself out there and you lobby for it and you push for it and you vote for it and you get your people to. It's working to it, just like all the people on here who go out and knock on doors and stuff like that. If you want certain things, it's not just the president type thing. It's your state level, it's your senator level, and it's your the people who, your alderman level and all that type things that you have to get out there to vote for what you want. If you believe that, if you believe in or against this, you understand? Because like everybody's saying, what's next? There's always what's next, because it's always what's next, and it usually come about when you're not paying attention and you're not getting yourself involved in what you should be involved in.
Good deal. Ray, what's on your heart, brother?
I just want to reiterate the secondary and tertiary effects of anything is the most important effects. What comes secondary and third. So as far as the situation, men are definitely overstepping their boundaries. Men, and I air quote the government. To me, it's the biggest thing. The red flags are just like blatant, and I feel like we keep getting maneuvered or distracted to look a different way. Like if we like broke it down into like, let's say two countries are about to go to war. The steps that are being taken and that are coming into fruition and that have been taken is essentially preparation for war. And we can do this on Wild Out Wednesday, but it's just like this is the stuff that we need to be looking at. Like you got weaker numbers, your people disconnected. What's stopping us from taking us over?
It's all about the diversionary tactics, brother.
Right?
Yeah, that's what it is.
I'll say that for Wild Out Wednesday, though.
Yeah, we'll save it for tomorrow. Rosalind, what's on your heart, sis?
I'm just listening. I know, my mom, she had me when I was 16, and I thank God that she made the right decision to not abort me. And even when she had me, she was like, "Am I gonna get a grandchild?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they took some time. I just get emotional when we talk about stuff like this. So
absolutely.
I'm just listening. I'm listening.
Now, Rosalind, that's very interesting what you just said. You said my mama had me when I was 16.
I was like, girl, you were real busy.
That was real interesting to me. I listen.
She was fixated. I'm sorry.
And like I said, y'all don't know, but I listen to every word y'all say. I listen to every word. Sometimes
it could have been a Benjamin Button thing, though. It could have been a Benjamin Button thing.
Hey, Cassandra.
I'm sorry. Thank you for correcting me.
Exactly, Cassandra.
Yes.
That would be very interesting, wouldn't it?
Oh, that would be extremely interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on what Rosalind just said, I get it. I had my son at 15,
mm-hmm.
and so I'm glad I did. But when I had the abortion, it was definitely a decision that I had to make for myself. I didn't need anybody, trying to influence me one way or the other, and
mm-hmm.
nobody did. It was just my decision for my
mm-hmm.
life at that time.
Absolutely. Willa, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back, Raheem.
What's on your heart, sis?
I was listening while I was taking the kids to school, and I just want to kind of piggyback on what Rico has said when he said his opinion is just his opinion.
Mm-hmm.
No, when Rico talks, he talks with a lot of wisdom. Not only him, but a lot of people on this line. And I always believe that a message should not only be inspiring, but it should be life-changing.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people on this line said they talk about their life experiences, their testimony, to give their opinion. And you never know, it might help somebody.
Yes.
God allows things to happen for what he wants to happen. And I believe when he puts something on your mind and in your heart, that it should be said.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I just disagree that his opinion is just his opinion. I think that someone is listening and someone is saying, you know what? I think I'm going to change my mind about that. Oh, I didn't think about that. Because I definitely didn't know anything about that Plan B pill.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't need to know now anyway because I'm 64. But somebody else who didn't know might say, you know what? Maybe that's the way I'll go.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be abortion.
Yeah.
I don't know even if that's abortion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying, Raheem?
Yes.
So I just look at everybody's testimony and experience that they've been through is a tool that someone needs to say thank you.
Yes.
Thank
yes.
you.
Absolutely.
I'm glad you said that.
Absolutely.
That's my opinion.
Absolutely.
Raheem, my nigga comment. You can put me at a minute or 2 minutes.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to comment what you said. I guess I don't never tell a lot about myself, but I have a granddaughter that her mother died having her. You know what I mean? And everybody wanted her to have abortion because of her circumstances, right? They knew that she wasn't going to survive. She knew she was going to survive, or there was a good chance she would die doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But she had it. Now, my son wasn't the best of fathers, but her mother kicked in and raised the baby, raised her, and now I have a great granddaughter from her, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna say it's a hard decision to make. I know it is, about that kind of thing. And a man has a right to speak on it? Yes. You have a right to overstep their boundaries? No. But that's a community thing. You know what I mean? And you don't know what the outcome will be. I wish she had chosen to live, but at the same time, I'm glad she made the decision.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? To go through with it. Because she was a wonderful lady. You know what I mean? But what can you say, right? And just like the other lady, last lady, 64 years old, I'm 71, and we have a whole perspective of this. A life to perspective. Every community. If we just start looking at ourselves as a community, and then that community has no say so in all our lives, then what about other decisions? Why? If I had a right to do this, we talked about the rights the other day. Why?
Yeah.
Why the community has the right to make a decision or help you make decisions or influence you to do things that is beneficial for the community as a whole. And at the same time, you should be able to take the stance what is, like you said, she made the choice for herself at that time. But anyway, I'll leave that alone too.
Good deal. I'm gonna go to Bishop, then I'm gonna go to Badger after that. Bishop, what's on your heart?
And listening to all, the opinion from everybody, and that's what it is, an opinion. I don't think neither one of us are professionals in this area, but I'm coming from a perspective of what you as it relates men trying to decide what women should do with their bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And we're here, and I can throw the Bible. I'll throw, if you want to throw the Bible, I'll throw the Bible all day long.
Mm-hmm.
And I know about life, and I know what God is able to do, and what God can do, and what God will do. But I'm going to come from this perspective. Being a sexual assault victim myself,
mm-hmm.
God forbid, I thank God I'm a man. But what if I had gotten raped? I mean, what if I had gotten pregnant through that ordeal?
Mm-hmm.
I dealt with that doggone situation for 30-something years before I even decided to seek counsel. So I had a lot of disdain towards homosexuals. I hated them because that's what I was drugged and raped by a man.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a woman gets raped. She already got to deal with the fact that she was raped. Now she got to carry this baby for 9 months. Then she got to decide, when this child is born, every day that she lives, yes, I want life. I want to give this child life. Yes, this man raped me, but imagine the horror that she has to live with.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said I'm pro-life and also pro-choice. I don't think anyone on the top side of the earth should make a decision that a woman needs to make concerning a circumstantial situation. Now, granted, all this promiscuous sex and you getting pregnant through the process, heck no. I don't agree with an abortion because you just keep laying up and getting babies, keep getting them babies.
Mm-hmm.
Now you want to go out and abort them because you keep getting pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Do the right thing, close your legs, or either get married, have a relationship with your husband instead of all these other men and getting all these different baby dads and all that other bull crap that y'all do. That happens in life. At the same time, I don't think nobody has the right to govern what a human person does with their body when they have made a conscious decision. But an 11 or 12 or 13-year-old child should not be forced to carry a baby when they ain't nothing but a baby themselves.
Absolutely.
And you can turn around and talk out the side of your mouth, out the side of your leg, and say, well, they can put them up for false care and for adoption. You're putting more children in the system than our taxpaying dollars have to pay for. And then my cousin has had a long conversation with her. She's 56 years old. And her mother put her up for adoption. And she wrestled with that to this day. Why didn't my mama want me? Why didn't my daddy want me?
Mm-hmm.
So sit on the sidelines and talk and give your opinion, your views, and okay, and this is how you feel. And then throw God in there. Go ahead. I throw God too. But doggone it, don't you tell me that I got the right to tell a woman what she can and cannot do with her body.
Yeah, exactly. Badger?
I agree with him. That's literally what I told my wife. I'm going to support her decision because it's her connection to God, not mine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to help her, support her, and lift her up just like she lifts me up. And like I've said, I don't know how many times. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't even be on this show because of my social anxiety and the mental issues I deal with. So, and the way our kids are growing up, learning all kinds of social skills I don't even have. I don't even want to think what would have happened if she actually tried and she died on that table. I don't want to think about that.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
I mentally don't think I could have raised these boys by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. There ain't no way. I don't have the emotional capability to do it.
Wow.
And I know that. And I accept that.
Mm-hmm.
So she is everything to us.
Mm-hmm.
So, and with the plan B stuff, it's going to once again boil down to a people's perception of what that means.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes into the age-old question: did the chicken or the egg come first? Well, now they're going to bring those kinds of theological questions into play. So now they think the egg is alive. So if the egg is alive, then every time you mow the grass, you're killing something that's alive because it breathes air to give us oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what they say is what life is?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So since we're all murderers, then I guess none of us deserve to be alive.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's good. There's so much going on. Darius, what's on your heart, brother?
Like I'm saying, I'm pretty much got the same thoughts about it. Like I just feel like, in certain circumstances, it's okay. But I still think, yeah, it's overstepping boundaries.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Now, Leonard, we spoke briefly about this earlier, and I think Rico actually brought it to the conversation about the life process, and you have to take the day after pill within 48 hours. Otherwise, it's not going to work. It's ineffective. When exactly does life begin?
I have no idea. You should ask God that question. But I'm going to do everything in my power as a man to determine my fate. If God wants to intervene, God can definitely do that. But if I recognize the fact that everybody ain't Christian, everybody ain't Muslim, everybody ain't 7-day event, whatever you claiming that's using to guide your decisions, all y'all messed up. All y'all text and beliefs and everything have loopholes and dilemmas that just may not be for everybody.
Okay.
So just because a person don't choose to adhere to wherever you getting your religion from, don't mean they wrong. And I don't believe that God is going to hold me accountable for what Raheem does. So I don't think from that perspective.
Am I my brother's keeper?
That's something y'all like to say. I don't know nothing about that. I don't even know. Some of y'all take that way too far, to the point of pure ignorance.
I believe so. I believe.
Well, go ahead and do that if that's what you want.
My brother's keeper, and like I say, everybody feel the way they want to feel. But I'm not gonna sit here and see. And speaking of you, Leonard, I'm not gonna sit here and see you watch you put yourself in a situation that I know I can step in and say, "Hey, brother, hold on, man. Hold on, that's not gonna work out."
You
good.
have no other choice. I don't want you to.
Well, whether what you decide to do after I tell you, it's up to you. But that's not gonna stop me from
the
telling
problem
you.
with this
That's
law.
not gonna stop me from telling you. That's not gonna stop me from telling you.
That's the problem. What people don't understand when they claim religion.
I don't even know if that have anything to do. I don't even know if they have anything to do with religion.
That's not what somebody else thinks. Well, where does that come from, my brother's keeper? What does that actually come from?
No. You're tying two different things together. I say when I step in and tell you something because of the fact that I feel that I am my brother's keeper. Now we could stay there, or we could go where I just went.
Is that all that is?
I say it is, yes.
Oh, okay. Then say what you got to say and move on.
My thing is, I would tell you, and if you decide not to take what I'm heed to what I'm saying to you, that's on you. But at least at that moment, I'm going back to the Bible now. The blood is not on my hands.
Pretty much like you say, moreover, if a brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him to him and to him alone. If you have this issue with your brother, see how personal that is. That ain't got nothing to do with community. That don't have nothing to do with your wishes for everybody else. It's about you and that individual.
But it has everything to do with, like I said,
So how does one trespass against Raheem?
My thing is this right here. But what that does do, and like I said again, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Might be wrong one more time before I leave here. But my thing is, it goes right back in. Am I my brother's keeper? And I have a responsibility to my brother, and I'm going to stand up to that responsibility to the best that I can. Now, if you decide for whatever reason you don't want to heed what I'm saying, or think I'm just talking like I'm a nutcase, that's your choice.
No, I'm not saying you're a nutcase at all. I'm just saying that's your belief. I mean, I hear a lot of people say that as it relates to Black people. I hear a lot of people use that narrative.
I heard it across
my
the board.
brother's keeper a lot. And I wasn't sure where it came from. And I thought that maybe sometimes people try to relate things to scripture. You know, when people want to sound right, they relate it to scripture.
Oh yeah.
So we have to be careful because everybody ain't reading your scriptures. Don't know, everybody don't care about your scriptures or how you believe or what you decide to do. That's why I don't even get involved in the argument about the right and the wrong. I leave it up to the person who's making that decision, like with Miss Cassandra. I think of that in terms of Miss Cassandra making the best choice for herself. And I would want that for everybody. I wouldn't pick and choose those who I would want that for.
That's
I
good.
mean, I wouldn't do that. But I know other people don't feel like I feel. I know other people believe that everybody should wear what they want to wear, eat what they want to eat, worship the God they want to worship. They want to worship. And if you don't, kill you. That's their religion.
You say kill you.
Kill them. That's their religion.
If you don't
walk with me, then I got to cut you.
No, Leonard, stay right there. You don't took a turn. You don't took a turn on me, brother. Stay right there. Stay right there. Toya, I think that was you, Toya, that was saying something a second ago. Toya, was that you? Toya with a T. Somebody was just saying something a second ago. It was a young lady. I didn't catch the voice. Who was that?
That was me, Raheem, agreeing with what you were saying to Leonard.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm Willa.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah, I was just saying. Yeah, I was just agreeing with what you were saying to Leonard. That was all.
Okay, good deal. Captain, talk to me. What's on your heart, sir?
Man, that brother Leonard, good God Almighty, man. I mean, I thank God they only made one of you, Soldier. Good. Look at my man. Let me say this. I feel you. I really do. And I heard the minister say this. He said the best religion is the religion where you want to treat people the way you want to be treated. You don't need no synagogue. You don't need no mosque. You don't need no church. You don't need nobody to teach you that. That's human nature, to treat people the way you want to be treated. That is the true religion.
That's it.
And you don't need no preacher to preach it to you. That's a man that got no education. He could be homeless. He understand that religion. But when we get into, and I like what you said, no, religion have done more. As Sal Meitan said in China, religion has become the opiate of the people. It become the drug. It become the high. And you're right, none of us, I don't care, you Muslim, Christian, whatever, none of us have no monopoly and copyrights on righteousness. None of us. None of us. But I do believe this. To my sister, I heard my sister, and I heard the bishop. You know, we are dealing with people, man, all of us had some form of abuse. And we can't say if that abuse have not shaped our thinking.
Yeah.
You see, you can't know what abuse. There's some abuse we don't want to talk about.
Come on.
Man, it takes a bold man, Bishop, for you to confess what had happened to you. And the struggles, man, you had to go through to deal with that. And as you said, the sister said, my mama had me at 16, which means her father went into a mother around when she was 15, which means in the day, that's child molestation. I don't care what you call it, man. You know, but that was permitted. My mama was 11 and was married at 11. But back in the day, that's the way it was. I mean, shit, we got 13 children. But today's standard, if a man was to mess with an 11-year-old woman, oh my God. If a man was to go into a 15-year-old girl, oh my God. It was permitted back then. And let me say this. Every one of us on this line, whether you want to confess it or not, we were not planned. Our mama and daddies did not get together and say, you know what, baby, let's have us a little Leonard. Okay. Let's have a dentist. Okay. Man, most of us was conceived in the backseat of a car, in a garage, in the most craziest places we were conceived. Talk to me. We didn't come wanted. There was no plan. So most of us came as an accident. And if we came in this world as an accident, then I want to ask y'all the question. What was the first thought came to mother when she found out she was pregnant? Did she say, oh, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Allah. Or did she use the word, damn? And then when she went to the man and told him, I got someone I need to talk to you about. I'm pregnant. Did he say, oh, baby, thank God, thank Allah, thank Jesus? Or did he say, damn? So you got two dams in one day. So we come into this world not being wanted. And at the same time, as we come in, and eventually she began to start accept. But what does it do for the first thought that goes into that fetus? Because the mama's thinking goes into the fetus. So the baby want to lay in the womb, don't even want to come out. So she's suffering. She's supposed to deliver now. She's boning and growing. The baby want to stay in the 10 months. Why? Because I'm not wanted. But if I'm wanted and you plan me, I'm coming out in 7. Here I am, y'all. Ain't no sister waiting to 9. Y'all say y'all wanted me. So the bottom line, we have to take all of that in consideration, my dear family. I like what little boy, I just got to meet you, my man. There's enough time for me to go at me and you go at it. I mean, you remind me of this brother. We used to call him Big Man. He used to be at the filling station with a doggone cane and a spit tube. And Big Man used to quote the scripture.
Oh Lord, I think
I hate he got cut off.
Yeah, I think we just lost him.
And just to add what he was saying, I think what a lot of people have to understand is that you could very well try to force every single thing that you want, but wisdom tells you that's not wise. I have made a lot of sacrifices to not be in certain places and involved in certain things. And I'm not saying it's the best way in the world, because I've probably missed out on a lot of jail and sex and all these other types of things, but I've had my share, you understand? But I never would propose those things as right. I never would take away someone else's ability to choose about anything, that I can think of. And it's just that, like he said, that religion and that, man, I love the Honorable Louis Farrakhan for that.
Yes.
But I heard him, I just not so long ago heard him teach that about religion. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Now we can live on this earth and on this planet forever like that. And all these people talking about depopulation and population, and I bet you it's enough Negroes where you stay at.
Wow.
And where I stay, because I don't know about y'all, but we very fruitful. Always have been.
Gonna make it.
And having been on both sides of that coin, when it comes to the choice with somebody, without somebody. I even knew when I was single, I had to keep some money for an abortion. You heard me? That's how concerned I was about things, even at such a young age.
Wow. Let me do this. We got actually it's 10:05 right now, but by the clock we got 4 more minutes. 3 more minutes now before we get out of here to make the 3 hour mark. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother?
Well, I really don't know what's on my heart about what, because there's so many things going through my mind with this whole entire issue.
When does life begin, Curtis? When does life begin?
Say that again, right here.
When does life begin? When does the process of life begin?
Oh, when does the process of life begin?
Yes.
I think we had this topic, we had this conversation before. The process, it begins. It begins in the man, like you know what I mean. Like let's just, it begins in the man, in which like you said, we're gonna table the discussion till way out Wednesday, but it begins in the man, and I don't see nobody trying to control male reproductive rights. Man, I just think this whole thing is. Can I just be blatantly honest?
Absolutely.
And not hold no. Okay. I think this whole thing. I think there's a strategic reason why this thing was written. I think there's a strategic reason behind it being leaked. And I think the strategic reason behind it all was to gain a greater control over the vote.
Man, can you hear me, Raheem? I can't hear nothing.
Okay, I can hear you now. You went off for a second. You went off for a second, brother. You totally went out. It totally went mute on us. We can hear you now. Captain, you there?
And I'm right here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Go ahead.
I think it was all strategic. I think one, I've said this before, I think the democratic mindset, the democracy-driven mindset is so connected, more connected than it's ever been in a long time. And I think, it's just my opinion, when you look at the two parties, there is a particular party that is splintered into 3 different sections. So it is my belief that the abortion topic is the one topic that one can take that party that's split into 3 different sections and bring them together.
Mm-hmm.
It is also a ploy being used to split the opposing party.
Mm-hmm.
Because now you have a Democratic base that some are pro-life. So now you hinge the election, the up and coming election, you turn it from being a multiple issue election to it being a one topic choice.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So I believe that there's not only the disenfranchisement of the female right to choose, but I believe it goes even deeper than that, to the point of not only do I want to take your rights, but guess what? I'm going to use you
mm-hmm.
to get through or to push my power forward.
Wow. Captain, you back with us? We ready to get out of here, brother? Want to finish your thought?
Yes, brother. I want to say this, man, because I love what everybody has contributed to it. And believe me, man, once, I don't know who said it, my mama, had 13 of us in the most worst time in the 40s and the 20s when it was hard for us as a people. And she chose not, understanding that everyone, my pops hung in there under the most difficult circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
And here we got women can't even raise 1 or 2. You know what I'm saying? And even though we have to build this glorious community of humanity, it ain't about color. I like what Badger said. He speaks passionately because that must have been a very difficult time in his life.
Yes.
And we feel it, man. I'm not insensitive to that, but I am sensitive to this. We are living in a time that is so crucial that any bad decisions we make can bring about our demise. And we are adults on this line. And let me say this, family, our young people are making bad decisions. Our little girls are having babies. And you know why they having babies? They ain't trying to abort. They want babies. They ain't trying to say, I'm trying. They want babies. They got 2 or 3 baby daddies. They want babies. And when you see them having these kind of babies with no guidance, because when I grew up, brother, and I mean, Brother Leonard could respect this. When we grew up, Brother Leonard, our pops was in the house, so we didn't have access to that girl.
Yeah,
we had to go go around the back and throw rocks at the window. And your daddy home.
Come out to the car. Come out to the car.
See what I'm saying? Man, we feared Pops. Pops, we were scared of, and she couldn't come home and say she was pregnant. He would ask, where you at? So, she had a guardian, but ain't no guardian no more.
Yeah.
Ain't no hero. There's no knight in shining armor. So when the mom was working, everybody at her house, and they just freaking out.
Yes, sir.
So we have to talk about plan A, family. If we get a plan A together, we ain't got to talk about plan B. I'm sorry, that's my thing. Hey, love y'all, man. Appreciate this, Raheem, for giving me this time, man.
Absolutely. Appreciate you being here, brother. Definitely appreciate you. But we're about to get out of here for today. Rico, tell everybody what's going on, sir, at 3 o'clock today.
If you missed today's broadcast and would like to see the rebroadcast in its entirety, you can tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.dkmmediagroup.com.
Good deal. Anybody have anything real quickly they want to say before we get out of here, before Willow prayers out?
Man, I want go ahead.
Ibrahim, go ahead. Rico, come to you next.
Okay. I want everybody, let's talk about us, like a people intruders. Forget religion, forget secularism, right? It's all about us. You know what I mean? And anything that happens within the tribe is responsibility of us. Anything that goes against the tribe is responsibility of, or the group of people, right? Or a nation, whatever. Start thinking about us instead of individually. My mother had died before me, right? And she chose to have me. She had miscarriage. She had 5 miscarriages, right? But she chose to have me and my brothers and my sisters. You know what I mean? So making a choice, it's got to be more than just a personal thing. I married a woman that had 3 boys by 3 different men, right? And I raised those boys. I'm the only daddy they knew, right? And I made them meet their daddy. But however, it's the responsibility of us. You know what I mean? Not the responsibility of individualism, because there's no such thing as individualism. Well, I had to pay taxes. You know, somebody decided to do something,
Ibrahim,
make these choices. It could be adults.
Now, Ibrahim, we got to go, brother.
Right.
Give me your quick version, brother. We got to get out of here. And Rico, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, man. You know, I was gonna hit it on that same line too when you said that about your brother's keepers. You know, we all. Thank you, Willa, for saying that about opinion, because I did realize after a while that sometimes your opinions end up being advice. And in the process of thinking about that, I've mentioned a few times that I saved lives, but then I had to think those were lives I saved after birth. A couple of them I saved before birth, even my second oldest son. So, you know, there's been quite a few lives that I saved, you know what I'm saying? And in the process of that, there's been some people that I took to get abortions that they went through with it. So you ask, are we our brother's keepers? And I think about the conscience, you know, even though they went through with it, at times I felt complicit. I felt like an accomplice for taking that person over there to have that abortion that went through with it, because the person that didn't have it, when I gave my opinion, even though they still wanted to go through with it, I took them on to Birmingham to do it. But at the same time, I stalled and took them and showed them a good time and still expressed my opinion without imposing on them. And they changed their mind. That little boy right now is a 35-year-old man, probably 35, 32, somewhere up in there. Well, no, he's younger than that, probably 30. And so, you know, I was thinking about how you can easily have a bad conscience about a situation like that, because on the outside looking in, it's easy to have so many different opinions. But when you are in that situation, when it confronts you, are you going to want to be your brother's keeper to the point where you want to do like Eric Rudolph and go and bomb the clinic and kill other people to save fetuses or to prevent abortions? Or are you going to give good advice, give your opinion, or just keep your mouth shut and stay out of it? I am my brother's keeper, and at the same time, I still somewhat deal with a guilty conscience, because I wonder, am I an accomplice to that person that did go through that abortion because I took them over there to have it?
Wow. And see that we're gonna get into a lot of this tomorrow. Maybe not all of it, but we're gonna get into a lot of it tomorrow as well. Tomorrow's gonna be interesting. Way Out Wednesday. Ain't no telling what you're gonna get. I'm gonna tell you something. Everybody coming with it tomorrow. I promise you that everybody's coming with it. Willow.
Hey, Raheem, come on with it. Let's go.
Willa, are you ready, Willa?
I am so ready.
Willa,
I am so ready.
Let's go.
Amen. Let us go before the throne. Father God in heaven, Lord, we just ask that if there's been anything that we said, that we've done, that we don't, that has been displeasing to you in your eyesight, Father, we're asking you for your forgiveness. We're asking you, Lord, to continually help us and give us wisdom, guidance, and understanding, Lord. Father, we need you more than ever before. Father, we know that you can do it. We trust you and we trust your word. We stand on your word.
Yes.
We believe that no weapon formed against us will prosper. We believe that you are our strength. The joy of the Lord is our strength. We believe it through your words, not man's words, but your words. We live by it. And we give you the honor, the glory, and the grace. Touch each and every last one that's on this line. It's at the sound of my voice, Lord. Bless their household. Keep them safe. Protect it. Guide them. In the name of Christ Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. It has been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your day. It is now 10:18. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me 2 favors, if you will. 1, I want you to continue to pray for us, because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number 2, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug, because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you. And ain't nothing you could do about it. Have a great day. and tomorrow. And we shine some of this light in you from the morning glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Take care of each other. And please, please, please be blessed. Have a